they take it easy. Who gets the gravy? Not you. Not me. Oh, no. Well, fellas like you freeze on a breadline.
What's the answer?
Millions of us getting together. This country and its institutions belong to the people who inhabit it. When they grow weary of existing government, they have the constitutional right of amending it, or the revolutionary right to dismember and overthrow it.
I know you can give a fuck of my opinions of things, but please save your speech of your visions and dreams at least. We can sit and shoot this shit at the bloodline. Save your passionate speech for the bloodline. I know you study more and understand what money's for. You want to educate and plead your case for Buddy Shore. We all standing attention at the bloodline. You got the podium, now preach it to the bloodline.
Cheers and tip your hats to the twisted individuals. Here's the artifact cats feasting off the miserable. Invisible hand is a full animal, metaphysical. Filled to the brim, but still on hunt to starve the pitiful. Pissing on in unison, unity is beautiful. United on a sinking ship, a mutiny, a funeral. You can see the humor in this picture of the future, so I drew an eye patch on Ulysses S. Useless. Granted, it was stupid, $50 is exclusive, and it's all about the Benjamins. Benaki only proves it. Boost economy, then crash it when it suits. Money running rat races, lacing up our rented boots. What's the use? You should pick a sort of truth, then observe the signs of sycamore. They plucked it from its roots. I speak in metaphor to keep you all amused, cause you stupid motherfuckers hear the truth and look confused. It's like they federal takes our money, right? And they can print. No, it's what, you know, what they did. But it's not. They're like they're their own thing. But they're not the government. But they own it to the government. Right. And
I know you can give a fuck of my opinions of things, but please save your speech of your visions and dreams at least. We can sit and shoot this shit at the bloodline. Save your passionate speech for the bloodline. I know you study more and understand what money's for. You want to educate and plead your case for Buddy Shore. We all standing attention at the bloodline. You got the podium, now preach it to the bloodline.
automatics of perpetuated negative worth. Debt creation upon birth, only destined for worse. Every cent spent apprenticeship eventually learned that the currency your pension is invested in dirt. Purposeful diversion so you worship the purse and appease the mighty rolling off perversions of work. This perversion of earth, the same as slaves building pyramids like tax dollars paid for drone planes killing Syrians. Don't act all upset, you blindly follow Luciferians. Deception is the tool they use to build the major staring it. Question their intentions, it's unsettling to think. Animalistic in the ground, Nebuchadnezzar would be king. But the pride of their control is that their chains will never kink. You've accepted your imprisonment, now freedom is extinct. You can lead a man to water, but he's never learned to drink. So instead prescribing medicine that simulates a sink.
I know you can give a fuck of my opinions of things, but please save your speech of your visions and dreams at least. We can sit and shoot this shit at the bloodline. Save your passionate speech for the bloodline. I know you study more and understand what money's for. You want to educate and plead your case for Buddy Shore. We all standing attention at the bloodline. You got the podium, now preach it to the bloodline.
For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
They say the ending is upon us. Don't believe the hype. You're sure to see a lot before you ever see the light. See, this is gonna be a little slower than you thought. It's obvious that you never thought at all. I pulled the curtain to the side, show you puppets on a string. See, the puppet master owns everyone that's underneath, and the only purpose is to persuade you how to think. Before you know it, you're a slave, and they labeled you a sheep. That's the same corporation putting poison in your drink. Modify the food supply to make the population shrink, and they fund the politicians that write the policies, and they write the textbook that teach about the missing link. It's lights out, they cut power to my next line. We're all doing bedtime by waiting on the bread line, staring at the clock, waiting for the deadline. If it isn't bedtime, then save your stories for the bloodline. Yeah, save your stories for
The love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Money makes the world go round, it makes the world end. Money makes the world go round, it makes the world end.
America has been called the land of opportunity, and just the big law. Where else in the world is the great opportunity for honest work exists in such a boundless degree than America? Where else can it ever feel that a real willingness to work has never gone unrewarded. That is, for long.
Think I give a fuck about impressing you? Well, yes, I do. Don't dare question the best in this. A lesson to the rest of you. I'm blessed to use these messages like medicine to get to you. To rest assured, don't test the sword. I'm best to ever bless a booth. Extra truth upon the stone. Assess the future all alone. If any of you can test my skill, I drop this verse to set the tone. Set the bar senses, spill sensible sentiments out of my head. Venting inventions, electric energy flows out of my pen. Predict the death of me if ever you learn the recipe. Using every chess piece to better fit my destiny. You question me, then let it be. You never seen an enemy who said to speak with synergy. There's one of you that's 10 of me. I corner you and then unleash the beast in me and let it feast and scream to Jesus, please release me from this evil demon sleep. Sudden clarity, remove me from calamity. Confusion isn't useful as a tool to suit your sanity, but anger still inside for all of those who live a fantasy, who walk the tightrope of life and focus till they're panicking. I stand atop the mountain looking down upon the cowards, counting down the final hours, watching ignorance devour. In the deepest of recession, still the money is the power. The money is the power. The money is the power. They control the airwaves, spread their poison through the towers, cause the money is the power. The money is the power. They tell you that it's hot, so you buy it on the spot, cause the money is the power. The money is the power. Jay-Z and Lil Wayne, I'm twice the talent that they got, but the money is the power. 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 The money is the power.
You are listening to the easy listening sounds of Moses Flows tickling the ivories with FL Studio. Nothing close to a piano involved. Listen to that string section, ladies and gentlemen. Deep in the background. Well, all right then.
Welcome back to Crypto and Chat, episode number 30-something. I am one of your humble hosts, Seymour Mack. The other, who's actually here. Where'd you get that glove from?
It's sitting here and it smells.
It smells?
What is this? This isn't you?
That's not good.
Why isn't this you? This is actually pretty comforting.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is my beer koozie hand sleeve.
Hand sleeve?
Look at my face, dude. Am I a cyborg? What's going on?
I don't know. You're always in and out of the system here.
True story. Welcome aboard the Starship Nexus.
Welcome aboard.
I just looked at the microphone and thought of this, and a lot of our shows controlled ADD, especially in this early beginning here, while we wait for people to filter in to their seats in the auditorium, both YouTube and Facebook. Share the video is your only way to get free Nexus. You're gonna have to share.
Share the video.
We're gonna give away Nexus today.
We're gonna give away some Nexus. Did we figure out how much Nexus we were gonna give away?
We're gonna give.
Do we want to sit on it for a minute?
Yeah, we don't have to say that just yet. It's gonna be more than usual.
More than the usual.
Check it out. What I was just gonna say, riding the ADD wave, was I looked at the microphone, and it reminded me of when I was a child.
A baby.
Yeah, and
How much of a child? We're talking infant, toddler,
toddler,
preteen.
I don't know, like 5, 6.
Okay.
What is that? Toddler?
Yeah, that's toddler.
That's still toddler.
Yeah, it's like a big toddler, a little ass big midget.
Crazy.
A big ass little.
Crazy thing is,
crazy thing.
I had a demented sense of humor even at that age, but I had a California raisin toy. What's funny about it? Did you not have that?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about.
The whole set, bro.
Well, you had the one, and it's big. It's like.
Yeah, it's a big.
And what happened was, it was just the right size that, I wound up taking my microphone with a poof like this, and I put it on its head. And I used to pretend that it was Bill Cosby, and I would do picture pages. I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. As a child.
As a
Are you going to get a picture of him doing picture pages so you can get an understanding? Compare it to a California raisin? I do not want to lose this show because of this joke I just made. It's not a joke. It's the truth.
It's a true story.
I wasn't racist. That's not racist. It reminds me kind of what Roseanne Barr said, I guess, in a weird way.
Well, there's claims of mental illness and ambient side effects, but Ambien took a strike back at her and said racism isn't as one of the side effects. And then somebody listed all the side effects.
Well, I mean, I don't even want to go into this subject.
No,
the microphone reminded me.
Not pre-planned.
Yeah, ADD wave. I just wanted to tell everybody that.
Welcome, everybody, back. We have a special guest with us today. Joining us from Nexus. We're going to bring her in shortly after we do a little ADD monologue. Anastasiya, the community coordinator. She's joining us. She's going to give us an update. We're going to talk to her about all sorts of Nexus news that's been happening lately. Big shout out to the peoples in the chat starting early. Do us a favor. Share the video. Subscribe, like, thumbs up, little bell, big bell.
Little bell, big bell.
Super
they make
poke.
it so complicated at this point. There's so many steps.
It's
just
ridiculous.
in the hopes that somebody will stumble upon our show. You know?
Well, the reason why I want you guys to share the video is because we are going to give away Nexus. And we have a nifty little trick up our sleeves to give it away. A little public shaming possibly will happen. And I'm always down for some public shaming. How do you feel about that?
Of course.
Of course.
And I don't consider it to be plubla.
Bubbler.
I don't consider it to be plubla. Controverse. Hello,
Oh, look, you're not even there. I took you out last week.
What? Oh. Why? Was Kingston sitting here?
No, the empty microphone was making me sad. Although
Stacy's in the house.
That's a good idea is to have Kingston sit in one night. Just have him there with the
If I can't make it,
I'll put some peanut butter on the mic.
All right. I also
It's peanut butter time, Kingston.
There is nothing that says that I can't hook up something in my basement for those days when I can't make it. You know what I mean? Like when I have personal issues. So I mean, I should have. I'm gonna get a new camera. I tried to hook up. I was thinking about trying to hook up the Kindle. It has a camera built in. That would have looked awful.
You know what? Honestly, probably if maybe using your phone might be the best thing if you can get close to that router.
Better than using a camera?
A camera? Well, how's your computer? Because your computer is always in
It's back from the
disarray.
dead.
You got it?
Dude, that thing is a gamer's computer.
You keep saying that. I guess I have a gamer's computer as
You
well
do.
in some fashion.
Those are the best high-grade computers with the graphics card and the editing. And I'm going to be talking about Bill Cosby.
And the jello and the pudding. You know, it's funny. Actually, before you showed up, I was thinking it was kind of weird, or it was soothsayer-ish, if I may, that the Knuckleheads like profile pic on SoundCloud is Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
For a lot of those, right?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Every single one. That is.
All right, man.
Why did I choose that? I have no idea why.
Let's quit messing around.
I haven't. I mean, it don't matter. I'm not talking about Bill Cosby either. Let's get Anastasia.
Let's
on the
get
line.
Anastasia.
Let's
on
light
the
this
line.
firecracker. Make sure you share the video.
Share the video. Anastasia.
Joanna, what's cracking?
What's up? How are you guys?
Very good. How you doing?
Really good as well. We've had a very productive week.
Yeah.
I'll
How
say.
busy are you these days?
Like, 12, 15 hours a day, sometimes weekends. I don't know. It really depends.
What's sleep like? Do you remember that? Do you remember what sleep was like?
You know what? It's just deeper now because I go into this mini coma at night.
Yeah.
Me too.
A
But
nice
only for
REM
an hour.
sleep.
I get an hour, half hour on,
Nice.
half hour off.
My problem is I sleep a little over my wake up schedule. So
Yeah.
it's not good. Yeah. So hey, let's get down to business. There is a lot of news with Nexus. A lot of big news. A lot of stuff we've been waiting for. let's take like a step back in time, if we could.
Hey, wait, is that our joint?
Joint? We don't have joints. What the hell are you talking about?
We don't have one anymore, right?
I want to talk about the tritium. Let me.
Ooh, right into the tech, huh?
We're going right into tech, but here's the thing: we're not real techie guys, so we got to get it out of the way, like on the front end, and then we're just gonna get down to ADD.
Yeah, you know how we do it too. We're gonna
Sidebar.
go. You know, what brought you here?
Yeah.
The libertarianism and crypto connection. You know, we're gonna do all that.
Maybe
Let's just start here.
Maybe we'll go a little back and forth. We'll go in and out over
Okay.
here. We're gonna start with Nexus Tritium just because it's recent news, but it's the end of May. The reception, we've been waiting for the Tritium white paper to come out, and most people say, and I'm really hoping that this is indicative that we will see the actual Tritium wallet in the near future. I know we always say soon. Are we saying anything other than soon at this point? Has that changed?
And
We're
I'm
now
just gonna
using
let me add
imminent.
to that, Anastasia. When Tritium? That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's now imminent.
Imminent,
But
yes.
really, we all make up timelines in our heads, and it's really just up to the developers to decide when they think the wallet is really, really ready for you guys.
All right.
All right. Well, that sounds good. That's different. It's different than soon. It was like another way of saying soon, but I appreciate you.
That was the long way around.
Yeah,
soon.
that was the scenic route of soon. Now.
We are
just keep
very
holding.
committed to not giving out dates and doing a really, really great job so that we don't run into problems in the future. So it's like building a house, right? If the foundation is rushed or, the cement didn't dry long enough, well, then how long is that house going to stand? But
Now-
if you take your time and you really build the foundation out, then all of the things on top of it will go much, much smoother.
Now, didn't Colin kind of give a little bit of a timeline there with the release of the white paper, stating that the next step we know is the wallet? Correct. That is the next step.
That is correct, yeah, because the guys have been building out for a couple months now, and so that will be the first shiny thing that comes out. A lot of this technology is on the under layers, on the network layer, the protocol layer, etc. So the wallet will be the application layer, which is the top one.
Now, we'll go into the whole libertarian background in a second, but you just made me think of something I wanted to ask. With the changing in protocols that are coming with Tritium, what exactly took place that caused this ruckus with Bittrex in the past 24 hours? As far as the moving of, let's start with the moving of the million Nexus and what is actually built into what something triggered something to stop that from happening.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm also not techie, so I'm gonna go out there and just say that real quick. But basically, Colin put in a limit on 1 million Nexus that you can move in just one transaction. So you can still move a million Nexus, you just have to do it in 2 transactions,
Right.
or more than that, etc. So what happened is somebody tried to move it in one transaction from Bittrex, and that kind of spiraled a little bit and triggered that limit. And so they had to go in and kind of fix it and work with it. And that's pretty much the basics that I understand. But the limit is something that we can definitely talk about. We have Colin threw out a poll in our Slack last night, seeing what people's opinions are. And again, it's not a hard limit that prevents you from moving your Nexus. It's just a hard limit within that one transaction. And originally it was created because at that point, Satoshi was the only one who had 1 million Bitcoin. So even to conceive of somebody moving more than 1 million Nexus was absolutely crazy back then. And at the same time, it's also it was created to not overwhelm the network, which obviously now we see it did overwhelm the network.
So it sounds like from the Twitter post that it's a security feature built inside Nexus, and it says unfortunately it affected the Bittrex exchange. I know you say you're not techie, and we're kind of on that level as well. Is there anything you know about how that affected Bittrex wallet shutting down, or is that a separate situation?
Well, that was the reason why it was pulled offline. Basically, anytime that any wallet in any blockchain has some kind of problem, it's a good idea to just kind of turn it off from the exchange let the developers look at the code, see what's wrong with it, handle it, fix it, and then as soon as they're sure that it's safe to use, secure, and all of the things are fixed that were causing the problem, put it back online. It's actually a pretty common occurrence because, again, this is all experimental technology. We're all kind of working on it together. All of these different things are constantly happening. We're learning as we go. So, programming is definitely not perfect.
What do you think? What do you think a moving of a million Nexus was saying from Bittrex? I kind of think it was somebody moving from Bittrex, a very large whale, obviously, moving from Bittrex to potentially feed the market on Binance, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I don't really speculate on markets at all. I'm definitely not savvy enough to be able to do that. So that's
Nobody is. Not one being is.
it's a pretty safe assumption that that Binance and Bittrex it was kind of in that time area, so it probably has something to do with each other.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, from what I understand, which is very, very little in life here, is when I saw that Binance, and I guess we're kind of jumping a step here, that we're listed on Binance. So that's very excellent news. We've been waiting a long time for the Tritium white paper, and also to get listed on another big exchange. And Binance was always the topic of discussion as far as what the next big exchange would be. And when it was announced, it was actually announced by probably community members first. In the Slack, I saw somebody had posted, and I believe on Twitter, that Binance had listed it because Binance puts up an info page, and you're able to feed your wallet, but the exchanges weren't open yet, I believe, until it was 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time that morning when it was listed, or when the charts became active. So, but there was a little delay in Nexus actually announcing on Twitter, and it sounds like that was more of kind of just checking off the boxes, make sure all the legal avenues were taken care of. Is that true?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, we just want to make sure that we're compliant in this changing regulatory landscape, and working with professionals that understand these kinds of things. So we kind of took our time, and honestly, an exchange was a huge deal for the community, and the community went out there and they talked about it, and they're free to talk about whatever they want and promote Nexus or talk about Nexus however they want, as long as it's factually accurate. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they did. They went out there. None of the team knew that we were being listed that night. I found out from a community member as well, actually, Chris Murdocky, and I heard it from him, and I was like,
shout out to Murdocky,
and the team to know too. So yeah, it was a very exciting evening.
We've been obviously shilling. We are not developers or team members, so we are okay to do this. But I don't know if you know, Anastasia, we have been actively shilling Nexus towards Binance. What feels like for 7 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's only been
7 months. 7 months. I always get
since before Bitcoin was adopted, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's our dream, and it's come to pass. And hopefully, obviously, it just opens us up to so many more people to get to have Nexus. One of which of those people is a mutual friend of all three of ours, who I don't know. Should I mention it now? I was going to wait till later.
Go ahead, just say
it's
it.
Ken Bosak. He
right.
refuses.
Woo, love Ken.
He refuses to buy Nexus, and
Refuses.
he said his reasoning was because it wasn't on Binance yet. So, Ken.
Yes, me and Ken have to have a phone call.
Yeah, hit him up, Anastasia. But I mean, he's completely ignoring us now at this point. I've been tagging him every 15 minutes. But anyway, going backwards now. You're pretty new to crypto, right? In the big scheme of things.
Yeah, just about 2 years now.
And you are a anarchist or libertarian?
Yeah, voluntarist as well.
Voluntarist
and a free sovereign human being.
Okay, which so are we. And is that what brought you into cryptocurrency? And do you see the connection between libertarianism and cryptocurrency?
Yeah, absolutely. I came to it from an economic background. I studied economics in college, and learned about the Federal Reserve pretty early on in my life. My dad actually explained to me how the system worked, like way back when I was 10 years old. And so like I kind of avoided the whole topic for a while, but during the 2016 elections, it really just became unavoidable to talk about these subjects and talk about how this Federal Reserve System has been manipulating our economy for over 100 years now, and basically like walking us to this economic demise. And we saw some of that happen, you know, in 2007 and throughout history. Some of the, you know, biggest economic depressions stem from fractional reserve banking systems. So, you know, I kind of started looking more into it and started being outspoken about it. And then eventually got into the anarchist community and started talking to the wonderful people in there. And obviously it's a huge topic with them and a huge topic with libertarians. And I was a huge Ron Paul supporter as well. So that, you know, all of a sudden I found out about Bitcoin and I was like, wait a second. I was like, this could actually work. And I came into Bitcoin through Steemit. And that was kind of like a personal thing. I like to write and blog sometimes, but I had this like irrational fear that somebody was going to, you know, take all my beautiful works of art and you know, do something malicious with them or pass it off as their own. And when the blockchain developed Steemit, I was like, hey, I can actually post my articles on the internet and they are attached to me. And I can even get paid for writing them without having to go through a publishing house or, you know, getting like a really huge followership, etc. And that's how I came to Bitcoin and then realized the true power of not just cryptocurrencies, but the blockchain technology in general and applying it to the, you know, industries around the world.
Now, when you met Ron Paul, for the first time? Was that with us when we met Ron Paul for the first time?
Yeah, at the Nexus conference.
How awesome was that?
I've only fangirled twice, and Ron Paul was one of those.
It was amazing. We talk about it all the time. It's probably the best.
Yeah. I was actually telling the community about it today in Telegram. Our community has grown by like 300 people in the last couple of days because of the Binance listing mostly. But of course, I'm like, hey guys, like that's, you know, that's great, but that's not the most important thing. Like we're talking about technology here. We're talking about humanitarian aspects, about freeing people, about making it easier for them to do the things that they love to do through these awesome, revolutionary, you know, technological tools. So I was like, everybody was like, wow, Ron Paul was actually there too. So I'm like posting my picture and talking about the double rainbow and how awesome it was to meet him and like freaking out.
We regularly bring up the double rainbow.
We have to.
And make sure you tell anybody you ever come in contact with, because I do. I tell people on the bus. I tell them everywhere. But I mean, so obviously, that is what drove you to Nexus, right? Which is the message, the philosophy that, you know, Colin has put forth. You can speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like one, it's connecting blockchain and cryptocurrencies and space. I'm Russian. All Russians love space. The space race was just a huge thing, and it's awesome. Like, and I'm not smart enough. Like, I'm not, you know, an aerospace engineer or an astronaut or even an astronomer. That's a lot of math. And so, for me to be able to become part of a project that is dealing with space in general, like setting up satellites and creating these distributed internet systems is absolutely like mind-blowingly amazing. I can't even believe I'm still here and it's been like 3 months.
Oh, we got P-Dog in the house. Shout out to P-Dog
in the house.
Hey, Preston. Preston was a huge part of me becoming, you know, part of Nexus. Like he was the community manager before me. And when I moved over and I told him that I got the job, he was like, you know, any questions you have, just let me know. And, you know, we'll get together, we'll talk about it. And so he helped me really on board and see the other side of what it takes to be part of the community as a coordinator, not just as a member.
Yeah, let's speak on that a little bit. I mean, with all the news coming out and some even like the, you know, whatever you want to call it, I don't want to say negativity, but, you know, some of the backlash. As the community coordinator, you've probably had your hands full, you know, these past few weeks. How are you handling it? Is it, you know, overwhelming at times or?
Sometimes, definitely. Sometimes it's a little disappointing disappointing because I do believe that we as humans in general can really like elevate ourselves and really raise our standards and really communicate with compassion and patience. But when I came in, we set up the community intentions and guidelines, which are on our website. And one of the biggest ones that I always talk about is, education through patience and grace. And I mean, like, this is something that came from the original Genesis white paper. Colin had written in some of these intentions and some of these guidelines. And so I took those and I reworked them a little bit. And that's the one that really resonates with me in my position, is that I always have to educate with patience and grace, because everybody's at a different level, and everybody has gotten through their life experiences and has dealt with lots of trauma and lots of different things, and we don't know what goes on in people's lives, especially not on the internet, where we only get to see what they want you to see. So yeah, I try, do that whole collaborative spirit, community, positive impact, and that patience and grace is like the really, really key components of this position. And
it really,
I love it.
It really explains, it kind of puts into words what you feel when you become a part of the Nexus community and what you're actually looking for when you become a part of the Nexus community. And that's something that, no doubt, that you felt in Aspen at the last conference, and we certainly felt in Aspen, because it wasn't just the fact that we were meeting all of our heroes, because we were. I mean, Ron Paul, Jesse Ventura, Judge Knapp. I always forget everybody. There's just so many freaking people. King Ver,
awesome.
King Ver.
King Ver.
All hail King Ver.
All hail King Ver. But it was also meeting, the people from Nexus that helped us get there. Freaking Preston, single-handedly pretty much got us over to Aspen.
Yeah, just Anastasia, this is your first time on the show. I need you to understand, we had this list like a couple months ago where we listed the greatest people who have ever lived. And Preston came in just behind Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
So just so you know, and Dr. Paul, obviously. So just so you know, you got huge shoes to fill with that. You don't feel any pressure with it.
No
Preston's
pressure.
one of the greatest people who's ever lived.
Just gonna run away now, okay, guys?
That doesn't mean you can't be too. I just need you to know you're gonna hear a lot of boot licking of Preston at any given point in time. Because without Preston, we would not have been there. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah, without Keith and Preston guiding us into Nexus, and without Preston actually getting us to Aspen, we would have never been a part of the first conference. So speaking of which, second conference is coming up. I had my heart set on going, but I'm getting married this year, and I just have way too much going on to be able to go. But tell us about the second coming of the Nexus conference. Where are we at with
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so exciting. So we're building out the website, and we're starting to reach out to speakers and sponsors and all those great things. We already have the venue set. It's going to be in Phoenix, or really Scottsdale, which is where we're headquartered out of, at the Phoenician, which is this really beautiful resort and spa. They have these gorgeous ballrooms, and it's going to be a whole production. And Wendy is the one who's in charge of the conference, and she has amazing ideas and a lot of talent and great experience with event planning. So she's really flourishing and following her intuition, and we're bringing so much spirituality and arts and consciousness into the conference, but we're also taking a very pragmatic approach as well this year, and it's going to be very business use case oriented, because our technology, what Colin created, is going to be so beneficial to so many companies and individuals, and we want to connect with them, and we want to get their feedback as we're building out this three-dimensional blockchain that is going to be quantum resistant, it's going to be scalable, it's going to be super fast. It's he breaks down all of the different layers and all the different components and functions that are needed to be able to work and create on every one of those levels. So, and we want to present that information to all of these, industry leaders and to anybody who's interested in implementing the advanced contract system and the transaction part of it and the supply chain part of it and all of the other applications that can be built on it. So we're really, really excited about it this year.
So if the emphasis is going to be more on the smart contracts and everything, do you see Nexus as being the new, improved, and non-centralized version of Ethereum?
We definitely don't like to compare, but
New,
yeah, I
improved,
mean,
and decentralized version of Ethereum.
yeah, and distributed too, not just decentralized, but truly distributed. You know, you guys obviously know that like what Colin did is he looked at Satoshi's code and he looked at Satoshi's vision, and he really took that whole peer-to-peer, you know, permissionless, trustful like network for digital cash, and he just took it and like expanded it, and he had years and years to really look at the Bitcoin code and look at Peercoin code and look at how Ethereum was developing and look at all the issues that they were facing or the challenges that they had encountered, and took those challenges and figured out how to solve them, and then created this completely new, beautiful architecture with those things in mind, so that it would actually work the way that Satoshi originally envisioned it. Yeah.
Powerful. Very powerful.
Yeah,
I just want to take a break there and just tell you that. Very, very powerful stuff.
How do you ever get overwhelmed talking to Colin?
Yes, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just tell him. I'll be like, okay, I'm like, just so you know, I'm getting about 5% of this right now, and he's like, okay, got it, and then he just keeps going, and I'm like, cool.
All right, good. Thanks for letting me know. I'm just going to continue now with all that. Just so you know, it's bouncing off my forehead, and it's just coming right back at you.
Well, I think it's like integrating in my subconscious, and I'm just hoping one of these days I'm gonna like wake up and become a genius too, you know?
Well, you know, if you surround yourself with geniuses, then you will most likely become genius-esque, if that's even a word.
Speaking of, just a sidebar real quick, Anastasia, give a shout out for us personally to to Brian Smith and to Buddy. I don't know if you ever see Buddy over there.
I have met Buddy. We had a very, very interesting and fun musical night a couple of weeks ago, so that was interesting.
And then Ramon
oh my
Collin,
gosh,
he's supposed to make some recorded music with us too, and Buddy, whoever.
Absolutely, I will pass on all of the messages to them.
Don't forget.
What can you allude to for us? Back to business, real quick. What can you allude to for us, and what's coming next? I know, obviously, we talked about Tritium Wallet, is the next step, and at least that in that area of Nexus. What about, I know you probably can't speak on specifics about partnerships, but are we expecting to see more big partnerships in 2018? Are we expecting to see the Cube satellites get launched up in 2018?
You did have a brunch with Dash just recently, didn't you?
Well, yeah, one of our community members decided to organize an Arizona Nexus meetup, and I kind of like have this vision as community coordinator of these meetups happening like all over the world, right? Because that's how I got into Bitcoin. I started, I like learned about it. I went to an Acapulco. I came back from that like rejuvenated and like talking about cryptocurrency, and I learned so much. And so then I came out to the Bitcoin meetups in Philadelphia, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And that's how I met Ken and Brandon and like all of these wonderful, wonderful people that we were hanging out with. And that's what I envisioned for Nexus to be. So really taking it offline a little bit and really going out into your community, out into your communities, and like coming together and really personalizing and talking about this technology and building it together, because we're always looking for feedback and we're always looking for suggestions on how to make these systems better. Like, nobody has done this before. We're not just decentralizing and distributing the software. We're also going to be doing it with the hardware, and we're also going to be doing it with the organizational structures. So right now we're like decentralizing and distributing within our team structure, and then we're going to have more embassies as well around the world where other teams get together and help build out Nexus. And this is really not just like community, Nexus community project, but this is community, like the whole world community project, because we're not going to be the only ones who are sending out these satellites. Other businesses can absolutely do it, other individuals can do it, and as the technology evolves and becomes cheaper to make, I mean, like, you can start 3D printing these things pretty soon, right? Like 3D print rocket parts and 3D print satellite parts, and that will significantly lower the cost, and then pretty much anybody can own a satellite, and your satellite is a node, so you're running this node in space, or you're running a node as a ground station, and you're contributing to the network, you're securing the network, and it's a team effort. Like, there is no other way that this could ever be done. It has to be everybody coming together. So meeting people in person, creates that really deep connection and starts that collaboration process.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually saw the Collins giving an interview in Australia. The Colin that wears shoes and the Colin that doesn't wear shoes.
Neither Colin wears shoes.
Neither of them are
unless
wearing
it's a
shoes.
business
That's
meeting.
true.
But they were talking about how in the future they want to, they were talking about in different areas of the world, you're having different embassies all throughout the world and different teams and all of them collaborating together. And that big vision is it's when you first come into Nexus, it's like so grandiose and it's just like, oh my God, how the hell can you achieve this? But like you said, it's each piece, it's that distribution, right? It's each piece around the globe working together to build this network, and that's what we love about Nexus. What about Arizona? We know that you recently moved down to Arizona to take the job as community coordinator and be there at HQ. How's that going? Because you're from the East Coast, aren't you?
Yes, I am. And I'm also from Russia, so this is definitely a huge climate change.
So how's that going?
You know what? It's actually really great. The springtime here was really, really wonderful. I don't know if historically it was maybe a little bit chillier than other years, but I've kind of liked it. And there is something to say about going from air conditioning to air conditioning, so it's not too bad yet.
Didn't you guys hit 110 yesterday, like 2 days ago?
Yeah. Well, I was spending 10 hours in here in the office where it's freezing, and I literally have my winter sweater on my chair. So, but we haven't hit those temperatures that people talk about. And I was just talking to a local yesterday, and he was like, "There's those 90 days that you're gonna wish you weren't here." And I'm like, cool. I'm just gonna hide in Sedona and go camping in the mountains and maybe take a trip back to Russia. But we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out with scheduling and how we're moving along, what we're doing. Because the job is definitely mobile, but I also love hanging out in the office because it's a very nice cooperative, collaborative environment.
Speaking of mobile jobs, Vector's rockets are going to be firing off pretty soon. Is Nexus going to be on one of those rockets in July?
So far we haven't scheduled a launch with Vector, but we definitely will be. I know that they were doing some testing and some of their launches got moved back a little bit. So that's why we can't really say until it gets closer to the date and then we can announce, because they have to go through their regulations, they have to test out all of their stuff, they have to make sure that the launch is actually going to take off and everything is the way it should be. And so once they do that and we do our stuff, I'm sure it will happen in the perfect moments, because everything at Nexus happens when it's supposed to happen, even if you don't think that's when it's supposed to happen. It's really crazy.
Did you notice how I tried to disarm you and sneak that question in like you were going to give me information that you weren't supposed to? Just be like, yeah, that's happening in July.
I've been doing this for 3 months now, and you gotta learn quick. So.
Hey, how amazing! Just sidebar bar.
Sidebar. We do a lot of sidebars, Andy.
Sidebar bar. How amazing are the stars over there when you look up at night?
Yeah, I did not expect. Hold on.
I know, because you know what? Hold on. Let me tell you why. When I moved from New York as a child, as a child.
Get some music playing for this.
When I moved from New York as a young boy,
Hasidic boy,
a young Hasidic Jew. Hold on.
In the summer of '74,
when I moved in from New York to Pennsylvania, I was just a wee lad. Actually, no, I was like 16.
He was a grown man.
I was half a grown man. And I thought the stars were amazing when I moved to Pennsylvania, and I noticed very recently that I have not really been able to see many stars here in Pennsylvania anymore. I don't know if it's the chemtrails. I don't know if it's the fucking fire from Fernwood burning up and all the smoke.
That's
and
in the
shit.
local news section. That's later on.
But it was something I was thinking about when I asked you about moving to Arizona to be closer to HQ. Just the project that Nexus is. We're amongst the stars in this project. It's just something that I thought about, and I wanted to ask. It was super sidebar bar, but how are the stars out there?
Bye-bye.
Does it bring you closer to the project?
For sure. I mean, the stars bring me closer to, everything. I actually did want to be an astronomer for some time when I was little, and my grandfather used to take us out. Yeah, my grandfather used to take me out like in the backyard of our little complex when we lived in Bulgaria, and like look at the stars and taught me the constellations. And it's like, I mean, the stars are a huge part of our lives for I think every person.
How old were you when you learned English?
So I actually like don't remember a time when I wasn't learning it. We had like these cassettes for like little kids.
Every other country is so much smarter than us. I just want to just say this.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It's embarrassing.
I mean, because automatically I assume that you are way more smarter than I am. Even saying the term way more smarter, I feel stupid. But you must be way more smarter because you at least know 2 languages. And I know 1.2 languages. The 0.2 is a whole bunch of bad words in Spanish. But that shouldn't count. And computer programming.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think every I am of the belief system that every single human being has genius inside them, and that genius is just a little bit different for every one of us. So even though I may know 2 languages, you probably know more about music than I could ever imagine. Like, I can't write songs or play instruments like I could when I was little. I definitely played the piano and the saxophone and, maybe tried a couple other things. And I sing, but not to the level that, like, what you guys create. So...
Well, thank you. I mean, I can speak really quickly. That's some sort of secret superpower.
The gift of gab.
Everybody brings their unique value to the world, and as soon as you find out that unique value, and that's definitely a journey, and for many people it's a very, very difficult journey to find their value and to find what they're good at and what they're passionate about and what they can bring to the world. But I think once we all do that, and as long as we all strive to find that, the universe kind of leads us on that path. I never thought that I wanted to be an entrepreneur or have a career. I'm totally like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to have lots of kids. I want to like homeschool, and then all of a sudden cryptocurrencies came into the picture, and like this fire ignited in me, and I just had to get involved, and I like had to talk to all of these people and learn everything I could about it, and it just kind of sort of like led me, and all of a sudden a friend calls me up, Mike Heiss, when we were planning the End of Fed block party in Philadelphia.
I was just about to bring him up.
Yeah. So he calls me up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he calls me up and he's like, "Hey, Anastasia, like you have to look at this crypto project. It's so cool. They're sending out satellites into space, and oh my god, and like their blockchain is really awesome."
That's a good impression. That's really awesome. That sounded exactly like him.
I was like, "Okay, Mike, I'll like look at it." I'm like, "Hold on, I'm like still trying to learn about Dash over here and like all of these other cryptocurrencies."
Listen, Anastasia, shut the fucking face and try to tell you something.
Yeah, and then I looked into it, and I had a very similar experience to you guys. Like, a friend really, really helped me to get to the Nexus conference. It was last minute. It was like that Wednesday, and I went into my manager's office, and I'm like, "Hey, it's been a slow week. I'm like, can I just take the next 2 days off? I'm like, there's this conference that I really, really want to go to. I'm like, and everything's like lining up perfectly for it. And I actually have the opportunity to make it to Aspen, Colorado." And she was like, at first she was like, "Maybe." And I was like, "Okay, I'll wait. And then some things happened that day, and she was like, comes back and she's like, "Yeah, you can go." And I was like, "Yes." And so I went out there, and it was really because of like, all of these friends that were helping me do it, and the universe that was guiding me to it. And then I ended up there, and I, met all of you guys, and the rest is history.
You're lucky you didn't drive down with Heiss and Jeff because of what they had happen. And we've never shared that story on air, but I feel like we should because Jeff ain't even watching right now. You know what happened. You heard the story at the crypto party, the two Smiths retirement party.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I don't know if you can see the chat, Anastasia, but
it's probably hard to see.
Murdaki is accusing you of lying about being
at the conference.
And I can't understand. It's Murdaki. Like, he's not like mentally unwell right now, is he?
No, he's just trolling me. I'm used to it. The community trolls me all the time. I love it. I'm like an inner troll too, but I'm being very good girl. So
we're all trolls. You're amongst trolls.
Yeah.
Well, my friend says that everybody in crypto is a meme person. We're all memes. We're just memes, and I'm like, that kind of makes sense in a very weird way.
Did you say meme? Like M-E-M-E?
Yeah, meme.
Yeah.
Meme people. I guess so. Yeah, well, we are. I mean, I've been saying we're all trolls. I know we are. We are all trolls.
We are all
And we all bow to one king troll.
No, not even Top Keck.
They're making memes illegal somewhere.
Where?
What?
Yeah. Well, there's this weird article here saying it was a 2015 article. Russia just made a ton of internet memes illegal from the Washington Post. I don't know if I believe that. I guess. What do you say about Russia making memes illegal? That's old story though.
Grumpy Bear's up in the house. I thought you weren't making it, bro. He's up in this.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah,
I believe
don't
in the
know.
UK.
Russia. Yeah, I don't know. Russia definitely likes to make things legal and then illegal, and China's kind of in the same boat. They're all like, they can't figure out what actual law is, like natural law, so they're just like, we're just going to make all these other laws because we have no idea what we're doing.
Here we
Okay.
go. The European Union is mulling over banning memes 5 hours ago. This is very recent.
And they're going to shut off the internet too,
yeah,
right?
For radio listeners, something that most people don't know, we're live on 28 radio stations around the country.
5 continents.
And also on 5 different continents, including
New Zealand.
Antarctica. So for listeners, there's a meme up here with Kermit the Frog sipping some tea.
Hey, hold on.
The meat and potatoes here is that, the EU's, they're considering making memes illegal.
EU. You can't say EU like that without sounding like you're grossed out by something.
I am grossed out. Whenever I think of the EU, I get grossed out.
The EU. The EU says, hey, I just again, ADD sidebar. We're going into overdrive in only 8 minutes. We're going to give away some Nexus. We're going to take that quick break. We're going to put Anastasia through the ringer of crazy thought process. Do they let you drink in the office over there, Anastasia?
We have a little place downstairs that sells wine and cider, so there's some after work.
So go ahead and start.
Not during, but after.
You're going to take the break, go downstairs and chug a whole bunch of it, and then we're going to go into overdrive in a minute. But here, what I was going to say is, Nick Wright ain't never wrong.
He ain't never here.
But
either.
he ain't never here no more, bro.
You got that fucking right. You know what?
It's
I'm
like-
happy to see Stacy in the chats because he took a couple weeks off. When you were off on paternity leave, you know what? Hold the fuck on for a
Hold
second.
on a minute.
When you were off on paternity leave, Stacy he was like having like, when your wife was pregnant and you gained some weight probably. I'm not taking jabs at you, I swear.
damn
I'm not
straight
taking
you are,
jabs at
motherfucker.
The same thing happened to me. And they call it, what is it, like sympathy eating or sympathy weight or whatever. I
That's
feel
what
like Stacy gave a little sympathy paternity leave, and I'm not too fucking happy about it. But he's back, and now Nick Wright is on paternity leave.
Is that what's happening? Because I'll give him a pass then.
No, he's not having a baby. I don't think.
Well, check it out. Listen,
That's not humanly possible.
You reminded me
He's
of a
man.
story I want to tell because about how fat I got on my paternity leave.
I didn't mean to take a shot at you, I promise.
My grandfather's 80th birthday. Did you know this? Anastasia, check this out real quick. Quick sidebar. My grandfather's 80th birthday, and my wife was 8 months pregnant at the time, and we went there. It was at a restaurant in Queens, and he saw me, and everything was normal because it was early in the night. He hadn't begun to completely pound like he does, and then by the end of the night, he was completely obliterated. And for some reason, that was the moment when he could actually see me, and that I had gained some weight. And so he came. I was going to give him a hug goodbye. I'm like, all right, Grandpa, good to see you. Happy birthday. And he goes, what the hell is wrong? He got this thick New York accent, like the old school New York accent. He's like a retired garbage man. He's been retired for like 60 years. He's like, Nicky, the fuck are you feeding this guy? He's like a big mountain man. He's a big burly mountain man. I'm like, Grandpa. I'm like, yeah, it's sympathy weight, Grandpa. It's sympathy weight. He's like, no. And then he gets like serious and sentimental. And he leans into my wife and he's like, he's not well. You gotta remember, he's completely obliterated. Drinking gin, straight. He's not well. He's like 400 pounds. Get him somewhere. Get him some help. He's a burly mountain man. And I'm like, all right. And I just completely hung my head in shame and walked out of there. Grandfathers tell you how it is, especially when they're from New York, I feel like. They don't give a fuck. And if they're wasted drunk like that, it's even better. What were you going to pull up there? And I want to...
Nothing.
Okay.
No. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be giving away... Did we know how much?
Yes, I think I already said it, didn't I?
Did you say it?
I
What'd
think
you say?
We're going to give 10 Nexus away,
You
unless
said 10?
Anastasia wants to match us.
I can match you guys.
Oh, boom. All right. After the break, we're going to take a quick break. It's going to be about 2-3 minutes. We're going to
Anna,
play
you
one
cool,
song.
right? You cool to hang out for a while, right?
Yeah, do you have to go or can you hang out?
Nope, no other plans today.
All right, so here's the deal. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna play one song. We're gonna get our thoughts together on as far as giving away this Nexus.
Anna, go grab some of those ciders downstairs real quick.
Yep, grab some of those ciders. I will let you know right now, though, the microphone on your end will probably not be able to be muted by me, so don't give away any secrets while this music is playing. Just keep it, put the key, throw it off to the side, all right?
Cállate la boca.
Cállate la boca, por favor. All right, we're going to be taking a quick break, everybody. Join us again in about
20 Nexus.
2.5, 3 minutes, something like that after this song. We're going to be giving away 20 free Nexus.
Enjoy this track.
And then we said we would and we did. I'm not running away. I wanted to stay and face it for myself, but back in the day, I was afraid to make my presence felt. Now I'm awake, I can never sleep again. Impede upon my freedoms will impede you from your offices. Breathe again. They're sucking the life out of the land. It's time to stand for something. It's time to stand together for us and reclaim our country. It's not about the man, it's about the movement. Without the people rising up, there'll be no constitution. This is the movement, time is now. You need to stand for something. Demand your rights and take them back. They won't hand you nothing. This is the movement, time is now. You need to stand for something. Demand your rights and take them back. Rise up, you've been sleeping so long, so it's needed. Rise up, the time has come, and I know you can see it. Eyes open, hands open, you can hear this call to action. Eyes focused, fear provoked, and forward motion made it happen. Rise up, you've been sleeping so long, so it's needed. Rise up, the time has come, and I know you can see it. Eyes open, hands open, you can hear this call to action. Eyes focused, fear provoked, and forward motion made it happen. Rise up, rise up. Rise up! It's the beginning and listen of all with liberty's creed, mission and seen, a visible dream and reach, a learning the truths to teach, letting it spread, invading the heads, the hearts, the thoughts, and planting the seeds, reaping the harvest of a standing army, armed with reason and peace. This is a dream that left you in a position of hopelessly worshiping greed, working to feed your family, taxing your labor, inflating the paper disease, while it spreads across the country like a plague of poisonous bees, infecting the middle class and poverty, stricken upon our backs they feed. This is the movement, time is now, you need to stand for something. Demand your rights and take them back, they won't hand you nothing. This is the movement, time is now, you need to stand for something. Demand your rights and take them back. Rise up, you've been sleeping so long, so it's needed. Rise up, the time has come, and I know you can see it. Eyes open, hands open, you can hear this call to action. Eyes focused, fear provoked, and forward motion made it happen. Rise up, you've been sleeping so long, so it's needed. Rise up, the time has come, and I know you can see it. Eyes open, hands open, you can hear this call to action. Eyes focused, fear provoked, and forward motion made it happen. Rise up, rise up, rise up.
Share the video. Yeah, I don't. We thought there was a third verse on that on that song. Apparently, there's not a third verse.
There was guitar, drums, and bass for a third verse, but then we wrote a third verse too, and we never recorded. It was bar for bar.
We didn't record it though.
We didn't record it.
Why the hell would we?
Because
do that?
Originally that song, True Story, was a song called Yoko Ono that I did.
True.
And it was filled with hatred and borderline, I guess, in today's society, what would be considered bigotry.
Unacceptable.
And
somebody wants 100 Nexus.
somebody wants, yeah, well, guess what?
What's going on? Is there a bid war for who's giving away Nexus?
What people are throwing in?
I think Bob's saying he wants to give away 20 Nexus as well. Grumpy Bear's going to give away 10 and then another 30. I'm gonna give 100 Nexus to anybody who could
No,
convince us
say that
to
kind of stuff.
write a third verse to a fucking song.
Here's what happened. Oh, all right. The second verse was in Spanish. Anna, you there? Is she here?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
She's
All right.
I had her down.
You see me?
I don't see you. That's
No,
what
we'll bring
confused
you
me.
in.
Our engineer takes a break too. Oh, he's back.
I can't.
And
do it all.
she's back too. Good.
All right.
All right. Here's what. The second verse. Do you speak Spanish, Anna?
Muy poquito.
Poquito. See.
Very little.
I picked up on a lot of Spanish working with Spanish people through the years. Also, my family is actually. I have family that
Yeah.
are Dominican. Half Dominican.
Yeah, I have to get better at it. I keep like going to Mexico, and I feel like I should probably know their language a little bit if I keep doing that.
Yeah, I go to the DR regularly.
He's got it. They know him there. He gets off the plane. They're like, "Hey, Doc,
I tell you
we
what.
made platanos."
By the third.
Borderline racist.
Now, by the
That's
third.
borderline racist.
What, this show? This
No,
whole
that I
show?
just screamed, "We got you platanos."
We got you. No, that is true. That is a possibility.
Hey, Doc, we made you your plátano.
By the third day, though, I'm mumbling Spanish like I've been living there my whole entire life. I'm like, dos cervezas, por favor.
My honeymoon, I was that guy who had to speak Spanish every time, and every time they go, "Oh, yo hablo español," and then I don't really. They go, "How you doing, Mr. Mosey?"
Mr. Mosey.
"How you doing, Mr. Mosey?" And they'd be like, "Tranquilo." I'm like, "Oh, yo comprendo
Hey,
español."
Isn't Mr. Mosey the language teaching like animation character?
The bot, yeah, I created that. I
You
made
created that?
Well,
No,
I
you didn't.
I got the idea stolen from me. Mr. Mosey.
Trying to prove that.
Mr.
Try to
Mosey.
disprove that, I guess.
Yeah. Prove me
Touche.
wrong.
Checkmate.
That's how you win Nexus tonight. First
me
one,
wrong.
prove that that's a incorrect
Riddle
statement.
me this. Who could beat Moses?
P-Dog says, "Sí and gracias learned at Anarchapulco." Well, truth is,
Very good.
real
muy
quick,
bueno. Muy bueno.
P-Dog, I was in Cancun for my honeymoon, right? And I just kept speaking, and the only word I was saying was tranquilo over and over again. And they would laugh at me. And then, yo comprende mucho español, which is not the correct way to say I understand a lot of Spanish at all. So they would laugh at me, and they'd be like, gringo, gordo gringo diablo, which I found out means fat idiot. Habla mucho mieta, which means he talks a lot of shit. No comprende mucho. Most of it's derogatory shit towards me that I wound up memorizing.
That's why you're so good at the curse thing, right?
Yes. That's why. Well, no. Most of it, because my stepfather was Dominican when I was a kid, and he would yell Dominican curse words at the video game. You know? Coño, man! Coño, coño.
Ay, coño.
Ay, coño, coño, man.
Ay, coño.
But anyway, the reason I brought all that up was because the second verse in Yoko Ono was in Spanish.
That's why you brought that
That
up?
was why that came up.
Man, we're taking all the detours.
It went piso mojado, porque el perro miado, Yoela di toro mierda, Yoko Ono diabla oh hell yeah. Which, that's Spanglish, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But we never
Very
recorded
fancy,
the
though.
third verse. That was on the corrected Axiom CD that we did in 2012 when we went to the Ron Paul Festival in Tampa, Florida to protest the RNC as they stole the nomination from Dr. Paul. Because we don't live in a free country. We live in a fascist dictatorship masquerading as a democracy or a republic, whatever. Pick your poison.
Choose.
Anyway, Cokes.
I mean, we don't live on a free planet, but we're getting there, right?
Yeah.
We're freeing ourselves, right? So like it's progressing forward, and I'm very optimistic that we're going to be able to do it.
That's
Right on.
absolutely true.
That's-
That makes me
yeah.
feel better.
That does make me feel better.
I feel
Thank
a little
you,
bit
Anna.
better. What kind of obstacles are there when you're talking about a global currency, working your way through all these countries' different regulations? How do you make heads or tails of how to move forward?
Just one step at a time.
Do we
But,
say,
I mean-
do we say fuck all that and just blaze a new path? We just say forget
I
all your
mean-
regulations, just blaze a new path.
We just stay decentralized and
We kind of still are, and there's a lot of good people that have gone to jail for selling Bitcoin or promoting Bitcoin or for whatever various reasons of like talking about this technology and talking about how it can be a free global currency for people. And the system is permissionless, but it's also public, so it's definitely trackable. And there's a lot of things at play. I mean, you know, the U.S. the SEC is coming in and basically trying to overtake the space and is classifying different, you know, coins or tokens as either securities or commodities or whatever. And each country is kind of trying to do that on their own, or they're trying to make it illegal, which obviously hasn't worked in some of these countries. So we at least know, like, I think it's a process of elimination. Like, what's actually going to stick, what's actually going to work, and none of us know, and we're just kind of speculating a little bit, trying to be careful with it, or some people are being extremely brazen, you know, and aggressive about it too. I believe it was like Eric Voorhees. He usually says stuff like that. Yeah. Or like Durov talks about privacy with Telegram, like that whole thing that happened where Russia was like, Telegram is now illegal. And my little brother literally sends me a link to a proxy like 10 seconds later. I'm like,
but here's that workaround.
Well,
right
didn't the chair of the SEC just say that Bitcoin was not a security? Wasn't that just stated? And
yes, that was just said.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely a very positive indicator that they are trying to learn the differences between ICOs and between real real currencies, excuse me. And we'll see how it goes, you know.
Hey, big shout out to Stacey Dow, sharing the crypto chat on Twitter. Hey, let's get into how we're gonna give away our Nexus. You're gonna win 10 free Nexus. Is it gonna be 2 people? How you want to do this? You want to do the 2 different social?
Leave it up to
the 2 different social pages.
Leave it up to Anastasia. If you said you were going to throw in with us to give away, is that right?
Match 10.
Yeah, I'll match 10.
Do we give 20 to one person, or do we give 10 to 2 different people?
I'm a decentralization kind of girl over here, so I think 2 people.
That's what I figured. Yeah. All right, explain it, Moses. How are we going to do this?
Well, here's the deal. We're going to give 10 away now with this way, and we're going to do something a little bit later on with the last 10. All right.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Just full disclosure, my password is safely tucked away at home, so those will be sent later. But
no problem. Don't worry about it. They trust us. We're trustworthy.
We've always given away our Nexus. A shout out to Murdaki for. We're still dipping through the Nexus that he gifted to Corrected Axiom, as well as Keith Freedom Smith. The both of you guys, thank you guys. Shout out. That's why we're able to give away Nexus consistently. And obviously, thank you to Anastasia, who's also going to do that this week. But anyway, here it is. In honor of the Binance listing, and in honor of our previous conversations with the Mr. Ken Bozic, you must be the first one to have shared this video, liked it. You have to like our page. We're going to check. You better have done those things.
Mm-hmm. We're going to check.
Facebook, we're talking about here.
And the YouTube.
All right, and here's the thing. The first one to hashtag Ken on his Facebook page with this hashtag will win the first 10 Nexus. You must also hashtag the Twitter. If somebody gets just the one first, we'll give it to them. It's one or the other, all right? First one to do this. So you all got to do it. Hashtag Bozic by Nexus. Go.
Yeah.
Hashtag Bozic by Nexus.
And we're going to look.
I gave him a little warning that he's got some Nexus heat coming his way on Twitter because he's been ignoring us.
So right now is your chance to do it. Hashtag Bozic by Nexus on one of his pages.
On his Twitter account.
Or his Facebook.
And or on his Facebook. I'm going to
The reason, because we have YouTube viewers who are not necessarily on Facebook, because Facebook is a dying medium. But still.
I digress.
Digression. So you want to check on them? You want to see if somebody did it?
Oh, yeah.
Who are we pulling for?
I'm checking. I'm going to both. I got the Twitter up, and I got the Facebook loading.
I just want to throw out there that we don't want to give away to any of the Nexus whales that are involved in the chat right now. So preferably be a newbie if possible.
Yeah, Murdaki. If you join in, it's only for fun, for good spirit.
Yeah.
here's the issue with.
I love that of our community. We're such a giving community, and it's the spirit of crypto really is like sharing and giving and collaborating. We have Spade in our Slack who's been doing a community giveaway
How awesome
for
is Spade?
a couple of months. Yeah, he's freaking amazing, absolutely amazing. He just wrote another article on the Tritium white paper and like broke everything down on a much simpler level than what the white paper says. And he's amazing. He's like one of my favorite people in the community. He just goes out there, he does things, and he doesn't just talk the talk and doesn't just believe in the philosophy and the principles, but he goes out and he walks the walk and he acts them out and does things like that, which are just absolutely like so valuable.
We've been riding Spade's coattails for the past few weeks on those giveaways. He's been allowing us to announce the winner of the giveaways, and I thought somewhere in there I was going to announce my name or Moses' name, and you know what?
Never happened.
Fucking win. You remember the first week we were so worried that we were going to win, that it was going to look like insider trading, and it was like going to look like this whole con job.
Yeah.
And then every week we're like, we got to make sure we.
And then we gave up, and then I stopped even entering.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no. He's not picking our names.
Yeah, he's like.
The only time.
Nah.
The only time I tried to enter was the one that was like a puzzle, and I was like, I want to figure this out. And like halfway through, I was like, I'm just gonna give up. I'm not gonna enter it anyway. I just wanted to solve the puzzle.
Do we have a winner yet,
We
Doc?
don't have a winner. I don't believe we have a winner yet.
Are we on Ken? Look, just giving all this free airtime to Ken Bozick once again.
Again, third week in a row, we're giving all this free airtime to Ken Bozick.
I mean, just so everybody who's keeping track at home, Ken does have blue hair now.
He sure does.
Yes, he does. Blue dash hair.
We got nothing so far on the Twitter. All right.
Hashtag.
Re-explain yourself. Re-explain it. Go
Buy Nexus. Bozak. Buy Nexus. Nexus. I said that like that Jim Carrey character that was a fireman. Remember that? In Living Color?
Are you talking about Fire Marshal Bill?
Right. Fire
Buy
Marshal Bill.
Nexus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the
We'll come back to it.
Well,
We'll
here's
see-
the
we'll see who's
backstory.
the first to do it.
Here's the backstory for this whole giveaway here.
Yeah, go ahead and explain that.
Let me take the chats off for a second. On episode 30, I believe we're on episode 32 now. On episode 30, we had Ken Bozak on the show. It was very lovely. We had a very long conversation with him. And he was preaching to the Nexus developers on the Nexus team on what it would take to get the Ken Bozak double bro seal of approval for him to hold some Nexus, because he says he's a big supporter of the project. He really likes what it's all about, except it wasn't on Binance. It wasn't on a wallet or an exchange that he could trade from on his phone.
10,000 on it right now.
He said he was going to buy 10,000 Nexus. I don't know how long this video is. This video is like 3 minutes long, but we'll play it in the background as we talk it out. I think I even got some background music playing.
I don't. All right, now wait. Where can I hold it?
You
what
need the
hardware
Nexus wallet. You need to
It's
go.
better with the music.
You do have a home computer, right?
Yeah, but I don't trust it enough to put 10 grand worth of crypto into it. Ever, never,
You
never
wanna
on
buy
my.
10 grand worth of Nexus from me?
No, but I'm saying if.
So
what
we're
if
waiting
Nexus
on Tritium.
I'm
Listen.
saying, what if, like, because one Bitcoin
Look,
became
we're
worth from
playing
like hundreds.
ourselves.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what if it becomes worth 10 grand? I don't
get
want
it.
that on my computer.
I understand. I completely understand. The thing is, you're asking the same question that most of us Nexus enthusiasts, which is when Tritium.
Well, the real problem I have is since we talked in February, right, about it. I like Nexus. I would have a
Come on,
Nexus
Ken.
meetup talking about how much I like Nexus. I love the project. I'm very interested in the project for real. Like I would love to see it succeed. But hardware wallets like Ledger and all these ones I showed you, they're open source. Those
This is a good
developers,
point.
if they felt like it, bro.
This is a good point. Let me pause this for a second.
Okay.
He was actually making a point there with Ledger wallet. Now, was he saying Open Ledger, or was he saying a Ledger hardware wallet?
Open Ledger.
I think he meant the hardware.
The hardware wallet.
What, is that true though?
Is it-
Anastasia, have you heard that?
Yeah, is it possible? Is it as easy as he's saying to get any coin onto Ledger? Because if it was, wouldn't there be thousands on there by now?
I really can't speak to which coins like wallets decide to put on and which ones they don't. It's definitely quite an onboarding process. I mean, an ERC20 token is pretty easy to implement, but as far as something like Nexus with our 571-bit keys, which are like so much longer than any of the other cryptocurrencies out there, it's definitely a little bit more difficult. I don't know. But we're definitely like right now what you can do is you can put your wallet.dat file, which holds your private keys, onto a USB drive, and that's comparable to basically what the hardware wallets are doing.
We
and
explain it on a regular
yeah,
basis.
just keep it in a safe place. Other than that, like, yeah, 1 trillion soon. So once we have that, I mean, I think everybody's mind will just be blown. The guys have been working so hard on this wallet and putting in all of the really cool features and making it extremely secure. Because, I mean, one of the things that we are really focused on and that Colin always preaches is security. Like, we are not just creating these fun experimental projects. Like, we are handling people's resources, and that's an extremely important task, and it has to be taken very seriously. So that's kind of the mentality that we have on the team, especially the developers.
I just wanted to state real quick, I have a feeling that Ken has his commenting turned off. That's what we got going on here. Like, that's why we can't see. He's got to approve this shit. That's why.
Yeah,
that's why it's not coming up.
Maybe not. I don't think anybody's participating. That's very depressing.
Because we're filled with whales right now.
Oh, you know what? That might be true. It's just a whale.
It is a whale
chat
party.
right now.
Anna, you brought the whales out to us.
You brought the whales.
And I'm honored.
I may have marketed a little bit to the community, maybe. I don't know. I posted some stuff in some channels.
It's a bunch of whales who just scoffed at our 20 and then mocked us with, like, I'll do $100,000 right now.
Yeah. I'll move $1 million. Shut this whole fucking show down. The fucking feeds just shut down. God damn it. Damn safety features. Shut down my feed. All right, it looks like we're not giving away 20 Nexus. You know what? People? We want to give you Nexus, and you don't want it.
I'm going to give it to that new guy in the chat over there that was...
I feel like I should message Ken and be like, yo, Ken, turn on your comments for giving away Nexus.
Yeah, good luck. I've been trying to talk to Ken since this all happened. He's not listening to us anymore.
Yeah, I tweeted him from the corrected Axiom. I said, hey, man, we want to be the first to give you some Nexus. Give me your Binance Nexus wallet so that way I could send you some fucking Nexus for free. You don't got to buy it. You don't got to buy it to try it. We're going to send it to you. Because in that video, this video here, if you want the double bro seal of approval, it's got to be on a hardware wallet or it's got to be able to be traded on Binance so he could trade it from his phone. And now that it is, what are your fucking excuses now, bro?
Here, go ahead. You guys keep going. I'm about to call somebody and try to get them to win this Nexus.
You're going to... No, that's insider trading. You
Is
can't
it?
do that.
That's not insider trading.
That's insider trading.
He was supposed to be tuned in anyway. I talked to him earlier. One of my former students.
And what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's probably busy doing some really cool crypto thing with some really cool crypto people.
I think he's dancing on the beach for some reason. I remember seeing that earlier today on Facebook.
Somebody's claiming a win here.
Oh, we got one?
We got JD saying that he did it. Where'd you do it? Did you do it on the Twitter or did you do it on the on his Facebook page? Let me know.
While he's answering Doc, since we have some forward motion in this, I'm going to move forward with some stuff I wanted to get Anna's opinion on. I don't know what you're okay to talk about here in the cryptosphere outside of Nexus. If we're free to just let's rally on and talk about it. I want to talk about King Ver. What are your feelings on King Ver, His Highness, and his better version of Bitcoin that has come out? Satoshi's True Vision, Bitcoin Cash. Have you...
Loaded question, putting me on the spot.
No.
I mean, this is a completely facetious, sarcastic, riddled statement. But that being said, have you kissed the ring of King Ver, and how do you feel about Bitcoin Cash?
No, I kind of trolled him in real life a little bit, so there was that. But you know what? One, I'm extremely grateful to Roger for everything that he did for this technology and for Bitcoin. Because he was one of the very early adopters, and he was the one who was going out to businesses and getting them to adopt Bitcoin and convincing people to, use the funny money on the internet. And I don't think without his contribution that this industry would have gotten so far. And that's the same for all of the, original cypherpunks and, people like Jeff Garzik and the developers of Bitcoin Core and the developers of Bitcoin Cash. I mean, this is revolutionary technology that would have never come to the forefront if these entrepreneurs and anarchists and libertarians and risk takers actually took that risk. And a lot of them paid for it with their freedom, and a lot of them paid for it with their reputation. So
But
I'm
specifically, Anna, Bitcoin
Yeah.
Cash. Do you think that Bitcoin needs tinkering with?
I don't think that the layer 2 solutions that Core is implementing are long-term solutions. I think
Sure.
they may be a band-aid. I'm not a huge fan of the Lightning Network. I'm in general not a huge fan of off-chain scaling at all.
That's where I'm going.
Like that's the reason that I actually really love Nexus to begin with. Like when I learned enough about this technology, on-chain scaling gives you the best security, and as soon as you take it off-chain, then there are attack vectors that are there. So I don't know. Is Bitcoin Cash the real Bitcoin? I don't know.
Well,
Maybe.
here's why I bring it up because of this, Anastasia. I don't know if you've had the chance. I know you've been very busy. I don't know if you stay up on the news like we do.
Just look
But
at this image.
on June 5th, 2018, Joshua Yabut, also known as MOVRCX in the crypto world, was arrested for allegedly stealing an M577 armored personal carrier, a.k.a. a Bitcoin Cash tank. Are you seeing? Can you see this, Anastasia? Are you familiar with this incident that took place?
No, not at all. Not at all, but I'm totally not surprised because, like I said, we're meme people and troll people, so this is right up our alley.
Sure. I mean, I'm not against this action. just the fact that he has his tank outlined with the Bitcoin Cash logo.
Is this a real tank?
Yes, it's a real tank.
Or is this Photoshop?
Well, okay, look, full disclosure.
This is Photoshop.
He did not have the Bitcoin Cash logo on the side of the tank.
Oh, what, the story you're talking about?
This is you don't know about this fucking hold on.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't. I really do not
even
keep
you,
up with drama.
Anastasia. Doc randomly pulled up this picture, and I'm talking about the story from this happening. He didn't know about this. Are you kidding me?
I didn't know about this.
Go to bitsonline.com.
Teleprompter free here. What is it?
Bitsonline.com has a story on it.
Not to be confused with. All right, never mind. Keep going. Bitsonline.com.
Not to be confused with Bitcoin.com, a.k.a. BitcoinCash.com.
Bit Online.
It's true. That's a little.
Shout out to Bits Online.
I mean, that's how you corner a market, though. You confuse the fuck out of everybody. You own Bitcoin.com. You get one of your guys to go get a fucking tank and hit the streets with Bitcoin Cash logos all over the place.
What's the name of
Wait,
the
so
store?
is there a Bitcoin Cash logo on it? Because that's kind of like.
I don't know.
Also kind of brilliant if there was.
I know. This is the greatest marketing
It is,
ever.
but it just shows you the jackboot nature of that
Here's the article.
briefcase carrying king.
Yeah, that king.
Controversial.
I don't think it was
crypto
him. If
dev
anybody
BCH
was
arrested
behind
for
this, it was
Reddit.
Sterling Luxon. He would be like this.
That mustache of a man.
Listen, hey, time out.
We
Again.
love Sterling Lux.
Disclaimer
I love
again.
Sterling.
We
really do
love
like Sterling.
Sterling.
We really do.
We really do.
And Cecilia too. You can't forget her. They're like such a pair.
We love them. And the thing is, but a couple of weeks ago, for no reason whatsoever, apart from the fact that we drink while we do this show, and we're hammy cut-ups, I guess.
Hammy cut-ups.
We're hammy cut-ups.
We're hammy.
Whatever the reason,
Hammy
Doc did a
cut-ups.
fucking impression of Sterling for no reason and sent us down into the toilet. Of just like we're going now, because now you're gonna have to do the impression again for Anna for her to hear it. And no offense, Sterling, if you're watching or you view this in the future, we love you. We're a huge fan. But Doc, do the fucking impression.
I can't do the impression on point like that.
Read
If I
this
got a
article.
smile on my face, it's ridiculous.
Read this article. So let's pretend like
Controversial
Sterling was the
crypto
member
dev.
of Bitcoin Cash that got arrested for this.
Controversial crypto dev and BCH supporter arrested for joyriding his stolen.
You became the Chinese guy.
vehicle.
That ain't it at all.
I can't do it on.
I'm sorry to put you on
It's
the
just
spot,
too
Doc.
much pressure.
Well, let's just
Too
talk
much
about the
pressure.
article then. So, Anna
So
can
I
hear.
did not know about this story though. As I pulled up this picture here, Which is probably why
Yeah.
this picture exists
Yeah.
at this
It
point.
is, and
because of this article.
Another full disclosure, that was
putting
made,
it all together.
that was actually created by Ken Bozak.
That get the F out of
He
here.
made that picture.
He made that picture?
Yeah.
No, I think @Bitwalker did.
Well, he shared it. All right, I
in the
saw it
corner.
on Twitter.
He definitely shared it. Developers armored vehicle rampage through Richmond, assuming Virginia.
Yeah.
Police were unable to stop the armored military vehicle, but followed it until the driver decided to stop it himself. Let's skip up to the point where it mentions he's a BCH supporter. After leaving
He's
the
not
Zen
just
project,
a supporter, dude. He's on the team.
Oh, he's a developer.
This is like Anastasia stealing a tank and putting Nexus on the side.
It's like Anastasia stealing a rocket and riding that shit to the fucking moon.
I have to check if the Earth is flat, guys. Come on now.
Hey, that guy hasn't
you got
spoken out since he did that, and that makes me wonder.
Who, Crazy Mike or whatever the hell?
Yeah,
his
the
name
guy
is?
that built his own hot air balloon, like, we're gonna float to the center of the Earth somehow.
I can't verify if we had a winner on that giveaway.
Because
there.
Ken has it set to private or whatever the hell.
I gotta find
however
out
you
who
say
even
it.
said that. JD said he did it the second that we said it.
Take a screenshot, JD.
He said he could send us a screenshot. Send a screenshot over to.
He's the first one to say that this was even not going through for. No one else cares.
Yeah, he's
JD,
still-
you won, bro.
Let me bring up the chats. Yeah, you won 20. You know what? Because everybody else here is a fucking whale.
Stacy said he needs Bitcoin Jesus. Great
No,
play.
no, that's how you lose your principles. You can't. We already said 2 people. We have to do 2 people. Centralizing it back into 1 person is like,
Oh, I
backwards.
didn't say that. Doc said that.
All right, fair enough. I get lazy at these points.
I was just going to take Anastasia's 10 and put it in the coax fund.
That's
no,
worse,
joking,
man.
joking.
That's even worse.
Anna, all right, we're going to have you come up with this. How do you want to give away that 10 since it's yours anyway? And Bob is
a little more pressure here.
Bob said, "Hey," like maybe he had tried to win.
Hey, no, I think he's just saying, hey,
Hey,
hey.
here I am on the hardcore streets of Ecuador, late.
I'm gonna do trivia, right? Because I'm all about education.
We do that all the time, but that
Yeah,
sounds perfect.
All right, let's
Hit
do a
it.
little
Yeah.
trivia.
First one to
got-
answer in the comments, everybody.
Got the white paper here.
Perfect.
Oh,
And okay, so this is the question, guys.
Chapter 3.
And you can totally look this up. It's not that scary. But what are the 2, I guess, main ways that signature chains improve blockchain?
And timeout. As long as Spade can answer, and then somebody can quote Spade's answer, we'll give the winner. We'll make that person the winner. So whoever quotes Spade's answer. No, go ahead. One more time. Say it again. Because Spade is the only one who could decode this white paper for me.
There are 2 key features of signature chains. What are they?
Ooh, you got me looking. Oh,
I know what it is.
I can give a little screenshot here, but I don't want to give it away.
I'll say it.
It's in one of the mid chapters, or actually one of the beginning chapters.
And how do? Oh, well, she's gonna answer. We'll find the answers in the chat. We'll read them to you. You tell us if they're right. Pull up the chat.
Yeah, let's pull up the chat.
Let's go to the chat.
mean,
Let's go. Fuck it. We're
There's
doing it
there's
live.
definitely you could probably definitely find like a couple of variations of those answers. I'm thinking of 2 specific ones, but I can tell you if the other ones are correct too.
Okay, no problem. I have it pulled up also on the sidebar here. I'll
Bob,
try not
don't
to give it away.
hold on. Bob's trying to let somebody else win. No, Bob, put that answer down there.
Yeah, but you know what? If we scroll up in the chat here, Bob was saying he wants to give us 20 Nexus.
Bob's giving us 20.
He wants to give us 20 Nexus. Let me see if I can find it because it's in the record here. Look at this. Bob. Oh, man. I just staked like 3 hours ago, and Trex is still not letting me move. I'm going to give you guys 20 Nexus whenever I can.
Wow.
So Bittrex is
Thank
still
you,
not,
Bob.
the wallet's still down. We're still waiting for that to come up, but have no fear.
The
Later,
guys are literally working on it next door.
They're right over there? Is
Yep, they're
Brian
right
over
over
there?
there. working.
Yeah, say what up to Brian. Go knock on the door and tell Brian we said what up.
Yeah, go.
Nope, I
shoot a
am
spitball
not
at 'em or
interrupting their
something.
process. Nope, it's like, the boys are doing the boy thing with the code stuff and I Let them do their stuff.
They would blame us, and it'd be fine.
The boy thing could be many things. That could be any array of things.
They're actually playing.
Well,
video
they're doing their high level techie programmer stuff, and trying to save the world by getting the Bittrex wallet back online.
What is this with the code stuff? Murdocky. He's never hung out this long. He don't care about us.
No, he's here for.
He's here for you.
Anastasia. It's all right. It's freaking ridiculous. Jamie Smith
I mean,
says
I'm
this
happy
is
that he's
trippy.
here.
Jamie Smith apparently licked a toad or ate some acid before
What's trippy?
watching the show. This is trippy, dude. Don't
What
eat
is it?
the
The way that-
ground Nexus.
Our engineer has got all these words squishing up into outer space up top there. It is squishy.
It is squishy.
Therefore trippy.
Therefore, trippy.
With the codes.
April can't answer because she wrote some of the paper. Of course, you cannot answer. April. That would be unfair. So we'll pursue the chats. If we don't get the
How is
answer
April
live
in
here on
here?
air, we will keep up with the chats and we'll.
Oh, okay. I just bugged myself.
I've
out.
got 2 different chats
Yeah,
pulled up
it
there.
bugged me out because she's under her Facebook name up top and then YouTube name on the bottom.
Yeah, she's showing love in both chats, which I love.
We appreciate it.
We love back. So the question is for the second winner, because JD's still claiming he won, man. Send us a screenshot to our Facebook. Or I see him in the YouTube chat, so why don't you send us a screenshot to either our email, correctedaxiom@yahoo.com, or you could post it on our Twitter, or you could send us a message on YouTube. I think you can still send messages on YouTube.
I just wanted to say something.
Or post a
real quick.
screenshot in the chat, man.
While we wait for somebody to answer this very easy question.
We've
I don't
never
know
had to
this-
wait this long either.
Check this out. This is the thing. That friend of mine, my former student, like I said, I got him on Binance today. And he bought Nexus today because he felt that Bittrex was too invasive with their information gathering. And I kind of agree. I happen to be grandfathered in from the time before the Nazi regime took over Bittrex. Again, anything I say does not reflect the views of Nexus and or Anastasia. This is just me riffing. Just put the disclaimer out there. And
I like all of them. They're providing a very powerful service to people. They're the ones who are giving access for these systems to be used.
Sure.
So
I'm just stating why he couldn't make a Bittrex. He wasn't willing to do it. So this is big news. We got Binance, right? So he's willing to do it now at this point. I called him because he has a Nexus wallet now on Binance. Just like we're trying to get friggin' Ken Bosack, how goes it, to finally buy some Nexus. I'm trying to get Ben to answer the phone. He just texted me. He's out to eat. He's out to eat.
That's good.
Sorry. Well, guess what, Ben? I was going to try to scheme you into winning this Nexus. Too bad, brother. Too bad.
Side note, not a lot of fans of Air in the chat.
Yeah, no.
There never is.
No.
But everybody loves Sterling. And I really
I
wish
know.
we could convince that mustache of a man to come on over to Nexus and start representing, start chilling for Nexus.
His Facebook page or picture on Facebook has been him speaking at the Nexus conference since the Nexus conference.
Since the Nexus
that speech was really great, by the way.
Was
Like
pretty-
talking about like crypto psychology and how cryptocurrencies are changing the way that we interact with each other on like an emotional and mental level. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
You guys should all check it out. I'm pretty sure it's on the Nexus YouTube channel.
Oh, we got JD in the messenger now. He's proven it to us.
He's proven
He
it.
proved it. He's good. And then he sent the link so he could get his Nexus. Good job, JD.
JD, congratulations. You have won
Awesome.
10 free Nexus. That's basically a fortune. I'm going the wrong way here.
Binance has unverified accounts which can move 2 Bitcoin per day, which are posted. Why can't I read? I need
Yeah,
glasses now.
so what Murdoch is saying, and what I actually do like about it, my Binance account is actually, it's not verified. I didn't send in any
Me
forms
neither.
of identification. You can move up to 2 Bitcoin per day.
Very decentralized.
Bittrex, I believe, is just 1 Bitcoin if you... Actually, I don't even think you could have a Bittrex account now if you don't verify it with, like, the selfie with the hashtag Bittrex.
That's you,
with-
dude. No. That's because of the way you look. And I want to share that story with Anna.
What does that mean?
You know what that means.
What does that mean?
They shut down Doc's profile pic when he tried to upgrade back when
Oh.
whenever it was, and because he's got his beautiful beard, they thought he
Yeah.
was possibly a terrorist.
Oh, of course.
Right? Well, didn't they say that? What did it say? It said specifically
Something like that.
you have triggered our team of crack, terrorist hunters with your beard.
No,
So-
I would have to look back because I do have a video clip of it I cut, I believe, on the YouTube or maybe on the DTube. But they were basically saying that I was on some list that terrorists are on, so I had to prove that I wasn't a terrorist for some reason.
Hey, look at that.
It's very strange.
Did you put up this G clip here?
That's
Anastasia, can
JD.
you see that?
That's JD.
Do you see that?
That's the
I
proof.
gotta see it.
So at 6:09 p.m.
Do you
on the
see
8th
who his
of
picture
June,
is, everybody?
that's Ron Paul.
This guy's got Ron Paul for his picture, man.
JD, man, I knew I liked you, bro. And appreciate the love. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Trying to build that sucker up. But we're also I've been putting all the clips on YouTube. So after the show, Anastasia, I'll cut 5 or so clips out of it, probably some of the funny parts, and I upload it to the Corrected Axiom YouTube page. But I'm also uploading them to the DTube page for Seymour Mac because we don't have the actual official Corrected Axiom there, and it's too much of a pain in the ass to set up. So Seymour Mac on DTube or Steemit. You said you have a Steemit account. What's your user account on Steemit? Do you?
It's Miss Cleverclocks, MS Cleverclocks.
Miss Cleverclocks. All right. Don't think you're gonna slide
Really?
by without explaining that one.
She
You
was
know
a
what?
clockmaker.
Back in the 1800s, I was a clockmaker.
Should I talk about it on air? I don't think I've ever admitted to where it came from.
Yeah, why not? Who cares?
Yeah, it was like when I was really, really young, and I thought it was so cool. I was so totally into UK slang, going around school being yo, this is so wicked, man. And Miss Cleverclocks I came upon in a romance novel.
Nice.
When I was probably 14 or something. So I just kind of I don't know, Miss Cleverclocks. It's got a ring to it. I like it.
I like it. Sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
All my other handles are usually Lady Anarchy with a KI at the end. But that one just, you know how difficult it is to change your name on Steemit? You can't do it.
You really can't do it, which is why we're just going to run with the Seymour Mac account for all of our Corrected Axiom crypto and chat.
This is actually a great time to bring up the Moses Flows shitcoin pick of the week.
This is a great time, and then I want to promote some other crypto shows and events. So go ahead, let's get a little shitcoin pick of the week action
And I'd like
going.
to get your opinion on this. I don't know if you're familiar with this. The shitcoin pick of the week. My echo.
Oh, my bad.
Shitcoin pick of the week. Week.
Real
Weak coin.
Real weak. A weak-ass coin.
My shitcoin pick of the week is BitTube.
BitTube, brought to you by Moses Shitcoin Pick of the Week. Why don't you explain to us why you chose BitTube to be the Shitcoin Pick of the Week? And again, disclaimer, Shitcoin Pick of the Week is solely a part of Crypto and Chat and does not reflect Anastasia's personal opinions on different coins and tokens.
I don't have an opinion here.
I don't either.
Listen, and the other thing is this is not financial advice.
Never.
And I have to keep repeating this every time I do the shitcoin. Last week, we had a huge spike after I listed my shitcoin pick of the week for Bitcoin Moon. And Bitcoin Moon was now delisted. And I want to apologize to anybody who thought what I was saying was in some way financial advice, and it wasn't.
Yeah, you gotta be careful in this space.
So I want to give a future apology, a preemptive apology
For
to
BitTube.
BitTube.
No, listen,
because you're
no.
going to get delisted from all three exchanges.
This is what's awesome. No, I mean, fucking BTC Moon.
BitMoon.
BitMoon. I don't even know what the fuck. They're just going back in time on last shitcoin pick of the week. They were doing $200 volume. How do you even do that? I don't even know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Whatever.
You tell your other friend and you just trade back and forth.
It's one guy trading to his two different wallets.
Yeah, he's got a fucking Upbit and
The
a
guy
Bittrex
who
account.
bought the domain name bitcoinmoon.com. But you think I fell for this multiple times. The one shitcoin pick of the week was also Mooncoin,
Yeah,
which I
Mooncoin.
own 100 million of.
Do you? But didn't it
That's just so
double
many of
in
'em.
price, or did it half in price? It went
No,
from
it's
two-
gone, dude. It's a series of letters and numbers now. It's not even fucking Satoshi. Look at
I
Mooncoin.
want to look at. Let's revisit an old Moses
Just hold
shitcoin
on.
pick of the week. It's now worth.
Ooh, it's up 4%.
It's not, yeah, you
Look at the
can.
Bitcoin value.
Ooh, it's up 4%.
What does that mean when it's got a -9? What is that? What does that series of digits mean?
That means it goes on for at least 9 to the 9th.
When I first
Power?
bought this, I need you to understand. When I bought that,
Could this be the
Mooncoin,
real Bitcoin? It could be B. Costello. It could be.
This. I feel like he said that.
All
before.
of them are the next Bitcoin.
Hold on. He has said that to us before. Was
I
it
don't
last
know.
week?
You
Or
weren't
s-
here last week.
Or
What are
2
you
weeks
talking
ago.
about?
My last week. 2 weeks ago. Whenever this fucking BTC Moon debacle happened. Anyway, check it out. Let's go back. Let's talk about why I believe Tube, T-U-B-E, or BitTube, as it's known to its friends, is the answer to D-Tube's nonsense shenanigans.
Should
And
we
I
go
call
to,
shenanigans
you wanna
on
go to their
D-Tube.
website? Should
Yes.
we go to their website?
As a
Let's check it out.
Steam It user, please, let's go to... I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I pulled bit.tube up on my Amazon Fire Stick,
Did you?
and I watched that new Marvel movie on my TV because of BitTube.
Yeah. Go ahead. Name that Marvel movie. What is that new Marvel movie you speak of?
It's going to be on the top page of BitTube. I'm telling you right now. We could put it on. And it's got, like, not many views. And you could see people's heads in the theater. I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
So is
But-
this illegal blockchain streaming? Is that what this is, or what is this?
Oh, what do you know? The Avengers.
Oh
there
my
it is.
God! There's adult content on here. We got to take it off.
Those, yeah, but
We're gonna
listen,
get
hold on.
flagged
Time out.
YouTube. Hold on.
It is completely legit.
All right, I gotta just take it off screen. We gotta screen it first.
I'm telling you right now, they got it legit. I already went through this.
Oh yeah, this is legit. Busty Social Network Babes, Volume 7.
It's nothing you won't see on USA After Dark. And that's not even Skinemax. I'm talking USA After Dark.
Primitive technology tiled roof hut. Oh, actually, I've watched this guy's videos before.
All right,
Very-
pull it up.
Very cool.
Play it. There's a lot of crypto information on this
isn't-
space.
This isn't crypto. But
It's not?
we're actually going to give this guy a shout out, or News Sky TT. Yeah, this guy
Let's look at some
actually,
of his specs
he
over
just chills out in the woods and he builds primitive tools, and then he builds himself a whole entire house out in the woods with primitive tools that he made that day out in the woods. The only
I've seen him. So cool.
It's awesome. The only non-primitive tool he has is this fabulous HD camera he's using.
Well, how does he wind up on BitTube?
I don't know how he winds up on BitTube, but it's got 1,500 views.
He's not doing bad. That's
Not
like the
doing bad at all.
highest viewed
Primitive
video on
technology.
BitTube.
.wordpress.com. Definitely give them a shout out. A little free publicity here. Why
Let's
the
see
hell
how much
not?
money this video's made. Scroll down.
Scroll down.
So, are you guys saying that BitTube is the next DTube? Because I
Yes.
mean, like, at least the name is a little better.
I know. That's what I based my initial investigation on.
Yeah.
Thank
my
you, Ann.
initial investigation. On the surface investigation was built off of
Bit.tube.
D-Tube. What kind of nasty shit can you come up with for D-Tube?
I
That's
know,
just
I
a
mean-
silly name to have.
Bit.tube. You don't even have to type .com, which most people don't do anymore anyway. They
No.
just let it fill itself in.
It just fills itself in. You're right.
But now, just bit.tube. And I feel like that's going to be leading to the renaissance of the non.coms, non.nets.
So,
Bit.tubes.
did you create an account for
Yes.
BitTube?
I did.
And did you enjoy your experience so far?
Well, can we see how much this guy's generated? Because
I think it just says 3. Is that? I don't know if this is where it's at.
Oh, yeah,
but
right
it
there.
says
He got
tip
3
channel.
tubes.
He's got 3 tubes, which, you know what? Let's take a journey back here. That is
It's almost
18 cents.
That's
3
almost
times.
65
That's almost
60
60
cents.
cents. Almost 60 cents. We're
All
like,
right.
54 cents.
Yeah,
or
but
some
who
shit.
knows? Well, I hear. Let's do the way we do shit. Coin pick of the week.
Well,
Go.
no-
I want to know the total supply of BitTube, and I want to know.
I want to know.
I want to know. Oh, it's actually identical to Nexus. That's
it?
why I picked it. I forgot.
All right, should I get my
We got a
calculator?
circulating supply of 56 million. We have a 68 potential total supply, meaning that there is room for mining. It is mineable. It is a coin and not a token. These are all added value.
So are
in
we
my
taking
opinion.
total supply or circulating supply?
We're going to take
gonna do the
circulating supply because total supply is only what it will someday be.
Right.
Speaking of which, sidebar here, Anna, what is the future total supply of Nexus?
So it's 78 million. And then there's going to be like a small inflation from the 3 channels, 1% on the hash and the prime, and then up to 3% on staking channel. But for it to be 3% annually on the staking channel means all of the Nexus coins have to be staked. So we're thinking it'll probably be closer to the 1 to 2%, which puts it in basically the same category as gold, right? So you mine gold, and then you have a gold rush, and then after the gold rush, you can sort of kind of find gold somewhere else, and it kind of like adds to the supply a little bit, but not enough to, you know, cause hyperinflation and not enough to cause deflation either, because both of those can get out of control very quickly.
How long are we talking before that full supply is out?
It's 10 years from 2014, so
24.
2024, yeah.
2024.
That changes a whole bunch of my numbers. That's good to know, and it's still not a huge circulating supply when you talk about the fact that we had somebody on a couple weeks ago, hate to throw him under the bus again, who told us that he had sold off his Nexus in exchange for this new shitcoin that he had chosen, that all he needs is for it to go to $1 because he's got 1 million shares.
Oh, yeah.
So, Anna, what we did was we went ahead and we looked at the circulating supply. And how we found the circulating supply was by listing all the cryptocurrencies in existence in order of the most. And it was number 2.
Wow.
There was 900 billion in circulation.
Something
So,
crazy, yeah.
in order for this to go to the $1 that he wants to be a millionaire, that cryptocurrency would be ready for this? $900 billion just for that cryptocurrency. What would our market cap be if that actually happened,
Jesus, who the hell knows?
Well, we bursted his bubble,
We
and
bursted it.
you
But
know,
he's
and
still
then,
he's all in, still to this day.
so, but again, so going on to the nerdy end of where, you know, cryptos can go, and, you know, also the whole entire market is going to go up eventually. It has to, unless it's completely being manipulated from the futures market, which is part of my also theory. But if BitTube is a functioning version of DTube, I say more power, bully, right?
Yeah.
Anybody
But
else?
where do you upload? Do you upload to the internet, or do you upload, because on DTube you do it to the Interplanetary Information Network,
Well,
right? The IPFS.
it's actually a pretty good functioning website. We didn't really spend too much time on it, but it was actually able to interface with my Amazon Fire Stick. It kind of reminded me of, Anna, actually, what was that website you put me on? You remember? You added me on some like another social media site, and I never logged back on. I accidentally made 2 profiles. Do you remember?
There's like Minds, and then
Minds.
there's Me. Yeah, Minds was the one. Yeah, because they said that they do Bitcoin, but I haven't figured out exactly how yet, and I don't use it. I also have 2 accounts on there.
Yeah, no, that's what happened. You sent me the link. I made a profile, and then I got confused somehow. And I made the same profile again, and then I had 2.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did as well.
And then I never went back there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it as well.
My question for Bit.tube here is,
Yeah, go
does
ahead.
it have the
Hit me with it.
upload issues that DTube has?
I haven't tried yet.
If you frequently upload to DTube, you know that if you upload a large video, chances are you're not going to upload a large video. Because
Isn't the limit like 1 hour?
I've uploaded multiple clips back to back, but they're very short clips, and they seem to go through pretty good. I thought Chrome was giving me the edge, but apparently it wasn't. Whenever I try to upload a full like crypto and chat videos, 2 hours long, it never actually goes through. It never works.
Yeah, because I think there's a limit at 1, and I had to wait for like hours to put up like a 20 or 30-minute video too. So
That's that scaling. You know, they got to fix that scaling issue, or they need to start paying attention to what the hell they're doing.
Or who's in charge over there? We're talking about DTube, right?
We're talking about DTube, which is Steemit, right? Same guys as Steemit.
Who's in charge over there?
well, isn't it like a platform that's created by somebody on this, like in the Steemit community
yeah,
too, like
possibly.
not by the original developers? So I mean, whoever created it like freaking awesome. You
I
go,
forget-
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's such a great idea.
There are
It's-
scaling issues.
Think about it. So this is one of the things that this YouTube knockoff thing, BitTube, that I like when I was reading up on it. The way they're marketing it is the way DTube I feel like should be doing, and DTube's already light years ahead of them as far as marketing, because nobody knows about BitTube. I like to
Right.
think I just told everybody. But what they said was everybody who is on YouTube who's being deplatformed or not even deplatformed, demonetized should be coming to BitTube. They all should be coming to DTube already. David
They are.
Seaman got deplatformed, right? For
Yeah.
basically, I forget what he said.
I
He
don't
said
know.
something
Piece of shit.
at this point. But
I don't
you
like
can't
him.
say something that's even questionable to the status quo at this point.
No,
and
you can't.
continue to make money. But if you have a video,
Communism. How do you guys like it?
We don't like it.
thank you for that.
My family fled. Totally fled.
Yeah.
Even after the Soviet collapse, my dad was like, "We're out."
Yeah. My only experience with the fall of the Soviet Union was in 1994. I think I was in 3rd grade or 4th grade, and I think 4th grade, whatever it was. I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and a Russian class came over, and they were into Metallica. And they had just learned about all this stuff that had happened in like the early 80s, and they were like, dun, dun, dun. They're like, we like very much when you play the rock and music, And I was like, that's awesome. These guys, I was like 10. But they were like, 10 years behind us. But that's what the Iron Curtain did. Like it pushed.
It's okay, but most of them still listen to Metallica to this day. So now I'm pretty sure we're like 30 years behind in music. It's just a thing.
Actually, you know what?
That's the
Maybe
only
you could
time-
answer a question for me. Why
We're
do
just so retro.
why do the craziest dash cameras exist from Russia? Like, why is it that driving in Russia seems to cause the most
Yeah.
violence?
Why are there so many bears driving cars in Russia? Is my understanding.
What's
No,
going
why
on
are
in
there so
Russia
many
that-
bears walking around in Colorado?
Yeah.
Yeah, true
And
story.
why are there mastodons?
Yeah, why are there mastodons being sold at will?
Yeah, there's some dark stuff in you turn down the wrong alleyway and you'll see a hairy-faced creature who looks like a caveman, but it's Mike Heist. And he's staring at
That's
a
Mike Heist.
mastodon. I want to buy it.
I saw a dinosaur.
Hey guys, I just totally saw Mastodon.
Hey, what is it about
I was just
Russia?
like, whoa, it's
What is it
actually
about
real.
Russia?
He wasn't
Is
just kidding.
Is it the history of going through the fall of the Soviet Union and communism that makes Russia so damn crazy?
Yeah, why
So,
did
you
Russia...
know- you know-
what- Go ahead.
You know how they always tell us to move to Somalia if we don't like it here?
Yeah.
Well, the place you're really supposed to move to is Russia, because that's like literally anarchy all the time.
Siberia.
Yeah.
It seems
And
as-
even some of the cities too. I mean, like the Russian spirit is very, very strong, and I think probably partially that's part of like going through the communist regime and like surviving it, but also because you have to survive in the climate, and that makes you super tough and super strong-willed. So, and like you guys know, strong-willed people, they just do whatever they do, and then you get to see funny dash cam videos of it.
Yeah, but it doesn't make. I don't know if that explains the guys that are jumping off of basically apartment buildings, like 12 stories up, just jumping into snow. I've seen some of the craziest shit, and it's always from Russia, every single time. Do you frequently go back to Russia and visit the motherland, Mother Russia?
I do. I usually try to go back once a year, but I haven't been there in about 2 years because I keep running away to Mexico.
Oh, nice. You're going the other way. Have you been subpoenaed yet by Mueller?
How are you? How did you help get Trump elected personally?
Yeah.
Personally, well, like, I mean, I went out there and I was just like, hail Trump.
How ridiculous is that whole entire Russia narrative? I mean, does it make you throw up in your mouth? Because it makes me throw up in my mouth.
No, it makes me laugh a lot mostly. I just think it's so funny because it's so clearly like a blatant lie. And like, I don't understand how people get caught in blatant lies all the time, or you can just like, brush it off. I'm like, really? I'm like, you look so stupid right now.
Yeah, and to agree with what you're saying, you don't have to be a Trump supporter. People, I think that's where people start getting confused. They're like, well, if I want to speak some truth on this whole Russian collusion narrative, which is blatantly bullshit, that doesn't make you a Trump supporter. That makes you a realist. That makes you somebody who's awake and paying attention and is able to navigate the bullshit of the mainstream media.
Not even that far. Like, you have to look at like 3 websites to figure out that it's bullshit. It's really not that difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't imagine Hillary being president right now. I couldn't imagine Trump being president, but I really could not imagine Hillary being president right now. Didn't she just have like a plane crash or something?
I can't imagine anybody being president. The concept is just like so foreign to me. Like, there's this one person who makes these decisions for all of these other people who have nothing to do with him. What? It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, now, I don't know how weirded out you were by the 2016 election. I know it bugged me out. I didn't think that it was possible because I know that it's all rigged. It's all pretend.
Yeah.
It's actually, the equivalent of the royal family. In fact, how these people are chosen. It's got nothing to do with an election. So, it was my understanding. So when this actually happened, that Trump won, I was like, what's going on? Well, at the same time, I had also recently stumbled upon a thing called the Mandela effect.
Oh boy! And if you want to just bow out now, I would.
I love rabbit holes. They're my favorite.
Take it away, Moses.
I gave you a chance.
I gotta step to the side for a second.
I gave everybody a chance.
You see people disappearing from the chat.
Did they really bounce already? Did it happen? Anna, have you ever heard of the Mandela effect?
I have.
Did you ever tune in when we go on this? We
no.
talked about it many a time. I don't know if P-Dog is still around in there, but I made him a believer. Have you ever seen Star Wars?
No.
You never seen Star Wars?
Nope.
Oh, man.
I tried once. I fell asleep.
No, I
Don't judge me.
I never really did either. I'm going to be honest with you right now. I've never sat through that shit, and I couldn't. Okay.
I made a Darth Vader joke the other day, and I put dark, and people made fun of me on the internet. So I was like, "Yep."
That's embarrassing. Well, basically, he didn't say, "Luke, I am your father," the famous line. But what's really interesting about it is the fact that even the guy who played the voice of Darth Vader thinks that he said, "Luke, I am your father." That's what I find interesting. But anyway, the point being that right before I even discovered this shit, we went on a cruise. Right? We flew to go on a cruise. And the flight this was my honeymoon. After the flight into the Bermuda Triangle, something shit crazy happened.
That's true.
And then it took me 3 hours. It took me an hour less to fly into Cancun, in my opinion, in my summation. We're flying into Cancun on my honeymoon, and they're like, it's a 4-hour trip. Like, okay.
Right.
And then the pilot comes on, and he's like, congratulations, everybody. We've managed to shave 45 minutes off this trip. Well, you shaved 45 minutes off a 4-hour trip. That's a quarter of the fucking trip. How did you do that? And everybody clapped. And I wasn't clapping because I was like, that something's weird about that. Like, that don't seem right. This all happened at the same time. And then, it wasn't too far off. All of a sudden, Trump's president. And so basically, I either died on that first plane trip when we went to Florida, when we had to get on that tiny little flight. Remember that tiny flight, and I had to sit next to Spags, and he's like, these things go down all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to bug me out.
Yeah, Moses needs to eat Valium to fly on a plane.
Yeah, I don't do well with it. Right?
Oh. I have an internal Valium. I just get on the plane, and I'm asleep at takeoff.
Yeah,
and then I wake up as we're landing.
I make all the Valium internal as well. The minute I get to the airport. As much as I can.
Hey, let's get back to business here. Stacy, bringing us back on track here. Is marketing going to get real strong after Tritium wallet release? When we had Deanna Bailey on, we talked to her about promotions and marketing and the approach to that. Are we going to see a shift in the way that we market Nexus? I know traditionally it's been a non-hype marketing scheme, just trying to build it organically, which is something that I actually appreciate. But what say you on marketing?
So, this is also my perspective. Well, one, like Scott, our marketing director, has said that he doesn't want to just like flood everything with advertisements, right? Like we want to be strategic with any kind of promotion stuff that we do. We want to be strategic with our PR. And a lot of the marketing on the team side is also those one-to-one relationships where we're either talking to businesses or talking to industry leaders or talking to regulators or even politicians, and really explaining and sitting down with them and talking about this technology and explaining to them the benefits of it. So like sometimes you don't necessarily see the marketing because it's kind of happening behind the scenes, because we all know as libertarians, when we're on the internet, like, talking about our views, nobody cares. But when you actually sit down with another person at the bar and you explain to them what you mean when you say taxation is theft, or, explain any of these other principles of why minimum wage is a terrible idea and actually makes everybody more poor, well, same principle, you can actually, reach an understanding and maybe even a compromise, or maybe even change some people's views. So that's definitely a part of it. And from my personal perspective, I also think that there is marketing to be done on the official team side as well as on the community side. I think the community is a very powerful tool for the hype, for the excitement, for the going out there and educating and creating graphics and writing blogs. And that's how a lot of these ICOs that haven't really brought anything to the table yet, that's the reason that they're so big, is because their communities get warped up in their, like original idea, and then they go out there and they tell people about it. So I think those two things, the official marketing through official channels and official media, and the one-to-one kind of sitting down with businesses and talking specifically to industry, and the hype from the community, like they have to work together, because that's how you get the word out. And we really want to focus on educating people more than anything, because if you understand something, like, we've had an influx of people because of Binance in our Telegram channel. Like I mentioned earlier, we got 300 more people in the last couple of days. So a lot of them, there was a lot of price talk and market talk, which we don't ever comment on, and they're speculating, and all of these things are happening, and it's really hectic, and the Moon Lambo boys are coming out, and me and our admins and some of our long-term community members are being like, hey, look at this article, or hey, look at Colin's interview here. Like, do you guys have any questions about the technology? Like, do you understand how the 3DC is going to work? And all of a sudden, all of the kind of like flighty traders and weak hands get out, and all of a sudden you have all of these new community members that are really, really passionate about the technology, and they're learning and they're asking questions and they're understanding the big picture and how Nexus can really help the world. So those are the people that we want to bring to our community, and that organic growth is so important, because we don't want our community to just turn into another Lambo. I mean, I swear, I like hang out on other channels on Telegram, and I can't spend more than a couple of minutes in there. So we're really working on building our, building the people around this project who really believe in it, who like, eventually we're going to have voting groups, and it's going to be like the L1, the L2, and the L3 miners, and then it's going to be the currency holders and the developers and the ambassadors, right? So 6 voting groups to make a decentralized system, and we have a self-funding mechanism with ambassador keys and developer keys that, when we get to that place where we can actually distribute them out and give them over to other people, so other embassies will have an ambassador and a developer key, and people can, basically decide who they want to continue to work on the project. All of those are extremely, extremely important. And they really, they have to believe in the mission and the vision to be able to do this the correct way. So, yeah, it's a little bit of marketing on both sides, and it's a lot of education too, because we are looking at very, very long-term growth. Not a coin that's going to disappear in, 6 months or 2 years or even 5, but a lasting technological project that will be here 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now. Like we want your great, great, great children using Nexus and working on it and making it better as new technology comes along. That's the plan. That's the goal. So all of these.
Colin said he had a 50-year plan, right? Which.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely said that before, and that's not to say that the 3DC is going to take 50 years to build. It's not. It's definitely going to take less than that probably.
You nipped my joke in the bud. I had something winding up, just about to throw. When
Whoops.
All right, never mind.
But yeah, so it's gonna come in stages. Like at first, we're gonna build out the 3DC, and in parallel, we're gonna start sending out satellites, and then those satellites are going to run the 3DC or the multidimensional chain, and it's just gonna grow from there, over time with all of these people contributing until we can cover the whole world and start educating them on it. At that point, it's gonna be a lot easier because we don't have to get into all the technical stuff. We can just be like, here, push this button. You got a contract. And push this button, and you can send money to your family abroad. And push this button, and you can start a crowdfunding, project where for whatever humanitarian reason that you want to, and that it's not going to be an ICO pump and dump where somebody can literally just take all of the money that you invested and just run away with it. But put in mechanisms in place where you can actually get that back. And that's like a really big part of the contract swap.
That's good. Sorry, my smirking. As you mentioned ICO, I noticed your knee there, and it looked a lot like Sean Kurtz's head. I just
he thought he popped up.
Like so random.
ICOs, I know all about ICOs.
You said ICOs, and then
All right, I think that brings us.
She
us
said
close to the
ICO,
end
and the clout guy just popped his head up from the bottom the minute she said.
Oh, that's crazy.
Dude.
Anyway, hold on.
All right.
You, congratulations first off, Anna, because you've made it into the overtime section. I don't know if you've realized, but you powered straight through.
You're the only the third guest so far. No, wait, did Ken?
No. Did he?
I think he did. We went 2 fucking hours.
Oh yeah,
almost.
When I left, you guys kept going because I'm running out of time. I gotta bounce. But check this out. I wanted to fire off a whole bunch of extra innings shit to you.
Okay.
What do you think of the price of Bitcoin right now? What do you think is happening? You've been in crypto, you said, for 2 years. This is a long stretch with only 1%, 2% gains. I don't like the way it looks. What do you think about it?
This is the price I wanted back in November.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, wait, bring it back down to 7,000. I still want to buy more. And I was literally, it took me probably about 9 months or so to get my first full Bitcoin. I started out and I would put like $100 here and $100 there, and I started investing at like I think it was like 1,500, 1,600, and by the time I was able to get to like half, it like increased like fourfold. And then I'm like trying to like catch up as it's going to 20,000, and I'm like, I'm just gonna wait this one out. So I mean, I think there might be some suppression happening.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at with that. Like,
yeah,
FUD used to behave a lot differently, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it seems to be. It seems stabilized artificially, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm just talking out of my ass, but anybody else?
I think everything is just stagnant.
Yeah. Exactly.
Everything's just stagnant, and I think also the part about it is that big money is going to be coming in, but they won't come in until the regulations are set, because that's not how they play. So we're in this like basically like limbo period of waiting for big money to come in, and the weak hands shaking out because they don't have enough patience to be able to to hold on to this, or not enough faith, or not enough education and due diligence to really understand the power of this technology. Because in my opinion, that's where the value comes from. Yeah, there's the whole subjective theory of value in economics, but the value comes from the technology. And unless you actually take the time to learn about that technology and separate the technology from all of the hype, then of course you're going to be, extremely nervous about where you're putting your money. And and then at the same time, like, I do think there might be some suppression going on. Everything really changed when Blockstream took over that one fateful summer, and all of a sudden the media started talking about Bitcoin, not in a, oh my gosh, this is, the drug cartels use this, and children get trafficked, which, by the way, children get trafficked with US dollars more than any other currency in the world. So like, to say that about Bitcoin. And all of a sudden this like narrative in the mass media changed. So there's obviously something going on there. And then we know that there's ties to like Bilderberg, and we like, and we're seeing these pump and dumps, and then the futures came in, and this was never going to be easy, right? Yeah. This was a revolutionary technology that has the power to completely change our entire monetary system and even our entire value system, the way that we think and we interact. We're like walking into a prosperity and abundance economy more so than the debt economy that we've been in because of fractional reserve banking. So,
are you fearful then, Anastasia, of people entering the market and treating this more like the traditional market corporation type mentality taking over cryptocurrencies?
I'm not fearful of it. I am unhappy about it. Let's just say that. But I mean, at the same time, like we do want, like like even back in the day, we were talking about capital flight and how the monetary system there has to be some kind of transition, right? Whether that's big money coming in and throwing in all of their dollars and the dollar system collapsing, or or us getting in early, the people, if they're willing to look at this and willing to do their due diligence, and then they can be at the forefront of this. And then, eventually something is going to happen economically, because the system is completely unsustainable. The inflation is at ridiculous levels, and it just doesn't work. You just can't print debt forever and ever and ever and steal from future generations without it coming back and biting you in the ass. Excuse my language.
It's okay. The mics are low on our end, Doc.
Yeah, there's no way around that. It's
I can't believe that happened. What, the end of the show? I mean,
it's Skype, man. Once we bring Skype in the fold, it just everything gets wacky.
You guys should use Zoom.
We need what? School us.
You guys should use Zoom. Zoom. Yeah, so Zoom is like a way better Skype. It's basically designed for having meetings, and everybody who comes into the Zoom meeting,
meeting. I've heard of that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it definitely runs a lot better, and you can have people like ask questions and stuff, and you only have to give it out to the people that you want in the show. So and I don't know how you guys do your chat system, but I'm sure you can plug it in somehow.
Yeah, I think we would have to run it simultaneously on one of the 17 computers here in the studio. We'll run it on. We'll have Zoom running at the same time. That's a good idea. I always said that we should have a computer that's designated to the interviewee. So that they're like in the room like a robot, like the Jetsons.
Well, what I would like to do is build a in-studio podcast situation where our guests come to us, so we don't have these fucking Skype issues, because it always seems to be when we're connecting, over these fucking airwaves that we hear this shit.
They don't like us talking about them.
Yeah, we'll turn
the minute we start talking about the fact that they're trying to fractional reserve banking and Federal Reserve, the minute we start talking about the dark overlords is when our mics start cutting out every time.
Yeah. But it's like we can go that deep, and we can just, even on the surface, like it's just an inefficient system. And technology is supposed to phase out inefficient systems, and the system is extremely inefficient.
We just got called out.
Inefficiency, like, what? For what?
No, we just got called out because we're the secret, the prime channel mining
kings,
overlords.
Yeah. No, we're not, Big Al.
We slipped up and talked about how many old computers I bring home from work.
There was a period where Moses was bringing these random computers to my house. Here, open this up, fix it, figure how we could mine Nexus with it. And these like computers from like '98, a fucking gateway computer.
Dude, I got a Windows 7 today. I got one today. But Nikki says I can't bring them home anymore because God forbid it connects to the internet, and the guy who threw it out recycled it for a reason.
Oh, this is true story. Well, you could bring it here, and I could just wipe it clean.
Just bring it all here.
Bring it here. I'll wipe it clean. You just can't tell my wife, because I also got yelled at for having all those computers here.
Sorry. Anna, thank you so much. I got to bounce. You guys can keep going. I got to go. Thank you so much.
No, I think we'll end it there. Anna, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time out, giving us some updates, kind of answering some of the tougher questions, in the recent news. But as community members ourselves, we have much faith in the team, in the project, and everything that you're doing, Colin's doing, especially Brian, that handsome little devil that he is, out there in the side room coding away.
Bang on the wall behind you before you leave.
Yeah. But thank
No,
you.
I'm gonna go over there and be like, "Are you guys done? Can we bring beer now?"
Yeah, for real. And then text me. Let me know if they're done yet. All right, and then I'll announce it.
Okay, yeah.
We appreciate you joining us. Any last parting words you have?
So for the Nexus conference, you guys should go to www.thenexusconference.com, and it's just a landing page right now, but we'll be building that out and updating it. And if you want to learn more, just go to www.nexusearth.com, and then also join our Telegram group, which is at Nexus Earth. It's really fun in there lately.
You loving that Telegram group? We will get on that promotion tip for you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was telling Bryce crypto yesterday. I'm like, I literally just wake up and turn over and take my phone, and I'm like, Telegram. Hey guys, what are you doing today?
Is Telegram where it's at? Because I've been in Slack. I do a little bit of the Discord channel, but is Telegram where all the hip kids are at?
We do some work in Slack, so it's a much community where we're really working and creating documents and doing all this stuff. So if you want to get involved, absolutely, come join our Slack. You just have to email me at admin@nexus.io. But Telegram is where all the crypto groups are, and it's really fun and nice, and kind of a little bit more fast paced. So I like it in there.
Excellent. Thank you, Anastasia.
Thanks. Come back again.
Representing Nexus.
Thank you guys for having me.
.com, of course. We still bringing that East Coast love back to you, even if you're over there. No problem at all. Join us again soon, and have a great night. We'll see you again when we see you again.
You too, guys. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, Moses is bouncing. We're still live. Look at you. Pretending like we're not still live. All right, it just ends when Moses gets out of the fucking chair. There's a pressure cushion there.
I gotta freaking walk this sweat off.
Yeah, walk that. Oh, you gotta. He's got a Brundle sweat like no other. We gotta get some new chairs in the studio. Hey, help us help you. Help us grow as a channel, as a live stream. The ultimate goal here is to convert my third garage. That's right, my third garage. And no, I'm not a Nexus whale. Into a full-time podcast studio where we'll have guests actually join us live inside the studio. More of a long format kind of setup. Thanks, Anna, again. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the chats, for keeping it real, keeping it honest. I hope we were able to help answer some of the questions, at least for everybody that's there. Let's see if we got what's going on in the chat, the chatty chats. But we do want to grow as a channel, and not only as a channel, as a project here as Crypto and Chat. You know what? Maybe we'll be chilling one day. Maybe we'll be called something else. Maybe we'll do multiple podcasts with different people involved, not just crypto. Maybe we'll do other shit. Who the hell knows? But if you like what we're doing and you want to support us, of course, we love the free support, which is just share the videos, like the videos, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the DTube channel at Seymour Mac, subscribe to all the pages, the Twitter and all that shit. That's all fine and dandy. But if you want to see us grow and you want to see us get better equipment so that the microphones are, at perfect hearing level and fulfill my dream of building that podcast studio in my third garage, then you could send me and us some Nexus. I believe in the description of the video, wherever the hell it's posted, check on the YouTube or the Facebook chat. We have a Nexus address in there, and that is the corrected Axiom Nexus address. That is also where we give out our free Nexus when we're giving it away. So big shout out again to JD for winning 10 free Nexus from us. And just as a reminder, if you're coming in later after the break, Anastasia was also giving away 10 free Nexus here on the show. She asked a trivia question. Let me pull up the page so I can figure it out. She asked something to the effect of signature chains. What are the two items that it provides by using these signature chains? She said that there could have been multiple answers, but leave it in the comments below, either in the YouTube or the Facebook, and I will navigate through those as the coming hours and days are upon us. And if anybody's able to put that answer in there, Anastasia will send you also 10 free Nexus. So we appreciate everybody joining in. Once again, we will be back next week every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live streaming on Facebook, Fascist Facebook, and on Fascist YouTube, and possibly one day on D-Live. I don't fucking know. We will certainly let you know when that happens. But we will be having a special guest announcement coming up. I don't want to say who it is yet, but he has been throwing a lot of crypto shit shows in the recent weeks, and he's taking his next show to Denver. That's coming up in a few weeks, and we're going to have him on the show to promote it. I guess I'll just say it right here. Nathan Hawk, he's going to be coming on the show either next week or the following week. And if you or anybody you know wants to be a guest on the show, all you have to do is email us at correctedaxiom@yahoo.com or message us on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or figure out a way, man. Send me a private message to Seymour Mac or send one to Moses Flows, and you could be a guest. We want to have April on, but she said she's camera shy. Come on, April. Let's get it going. Bob, I appreciate it. You saying you'll send us some. You're obviously a Nexus whale who's just willing to throw us 1 to 5,000 Nexus. I appreciate you. I appreciate you committing to sending us 5,000 Nexus. We really appreciate that, and we'll put it to good use. I promise you that. Everybody here, welcome aboard the Starship Nexus. We hope that you enjoy the ride. We will be here every week to provide you updates on the project, but also just provide you with some comedic entertainment. We hope that you enjoyed tonight, and we want to thank once again Anastasiya for joining us from Nexus. We will be out. See you suckers later. I guess you know what we should do in typical fashion. We should play some music.
I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies.
See you guys later, all right? Thank you for joining us.
I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me.
Yeah.
I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me.
I'm always at the top of my game, low weight competition at the drop of my name. Old age gonna take me like I'm rotting away. There's no way you gonna play me, baby, not today. You must be crazy if you're thinking you can tussle with risk. Got the muscle and the mental, plus I'm hustling big. Honestly, trust is something that I never could give. Run your mouth and you force me to talk on my fist. Conversate with a punch, I got a hunch. You ain't pulling no stunts no more. You're on the floor like you're doing a crunch.
We appreciate anything you give us. We really do.
I'm a hungry MC, I'ma eat you for lunch. You're a pussy in the bradiest bunch, the shadiest one. I shine light on them till the alias run. I'm always me, never compromise who I be. Always means forever strong and longer than infinity.
Yeah.
I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me.
The new movement, I choose not to consume it. Too true, spectacular, without even the music. You're just an amusement, but to me a nuisance. My temper still wood and not showing much improvement. My vocal on the track make the old school new again. We're gods of the underground, so you quickly watch my crew and say you rap crap. So I'm hating it. It's bags on tap, so you get the true taste of it. I grab the microphone deadly, firm grip on the trigger. Wonder how the end tastes, all my victory's bitter. A lot of guts in my flow, but one death for a sinner. I stay racing for faces, so I'm first to deliver. Yeah, my ears stay shut, but my brain stays vocal. I hear no evil, even though death's local. My tomb is my doom, and my soul is total. So I am not always, I'm just immortal.
I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all the lies in front of me.
Always, my words will echo through hallways of colleges as my knowledge is quoted and called great. I'm on pace with my lyrics to create miracles. Here I'm innocent, but your spirit is listening. I'm a clear rendition, deathbed reminiscent of the best sex quotes of your whole life mission. Wonder why you're miserable, you spent your whole life bitching. You flying blindfolded and the co-pilot's missing. All you minor soldiers, I am over your head like a giant boulder. Fire, smolder, heat, leave your head wrapped like Ayatollah. I already told you as the sky is getting colder, my words crystallize, reflecting light from steady solar. Fate play your cards against the hand that I am holding. Ironically, I bluff and I shatter my opponent. Never bad, and I imagine I will always baffle minds. Half the time I only rap to keep them laughing at your kind. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all that lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all that lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all that lies in front of me. I've always been and I will always be, always well prepared to see all that lies in front of me.